Hello and welcome to the Saladcast on Saturday the 12th of May 2012. I'm your host Dan Train. Joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
Held by impression of a bottle.
Robert Kemp.
Rob's fucking eating something.
Eating a flapjack.
Timing.
Robert Kemp's brother, Richard Kemp. that was Rick.
I'm a clammer.
Clangers have the penny whistles, don't they?
Yeah.
That's like the Soup Dragon or something.
The Soup Dragon.
Yes. And also in the room,
Jammy.
Jam jar.
Yeah.
Way over there, where no one can hear you.
Shout louder. Yay! There we go.
Yes, welcome back for a short hiatus due to Rob's
Injuring myself from means unknown to even myself.
pains of the back.
Yeah. I did ask on Facebook for people to keep the old man jokes fairly original. I then received none. It's all worked.
Your plan
No
worked
one can
perfectly.
think of an original joke.
Now we're going to sit here and try and come up with old bad jokes
No, we're
for
not.
someone with a bad back. That's not really that easy to do, necessarily.
That's what she said.
Sorry, what? Okay.
I was thinking of the most unoriginal joke you could think of.
Yeah, that probably.
So there you go.
Why did Rob cross the road? Because he had a bad back. No, wait.
What did Rob cross the road? He didn't.
He didn't.
He died.
He couldn't. He was crossing and it went, the pain in the back. The bottom of the back.
It was an actual pain in the ass. There you go. Boom, boom.
So are you all hopped up on meds?
I've got so many drugs.
Bill's here.
Bill's definitely here.
He's grabbing pills.
But I know one thing. I'm grabbing pills on a regular basis.
As Max Payne would say, the pills would ease the pain.
They do. They really fucking do. Bill.
Speaking of which, that's coming out soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Max Payne 3.
What, pills? Pills are coming out soon.
I hope so.
Well, it's been put forward a week, hasn't it?
Has it?
That's what
Really?
I heard.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard.
It's good news.
Rumour.
People are already complaining about like DLC strategies, like with every other big game in existence. I think it's
What are
going
they doing now?
I don't know. It's going to have the Rockstar pass like LA Noire, but I'm not going to bother with it.
That's not nearly as cool, is it? I don't think
No.
sort of like it made sense for LA Noire.
Exactly, because that's like episodic.
Unless they're planning on doing episodic pain.
I don't think so. I think it's probably like your standard multiplayer maps fare for
Yeah,
DLC.
maybe.
Although I'm not sure. They can be quite creative with these things, can't they, Rockstar? But they haven't done a straight
Depends
shoot.
if the multiplayer's any good.
Yeah, well, there's a fair chance, I think.
It's because they're trying to put in the bullet
time.
Yeah,
That's the thing, yeah.
but they're trying to do that, aren't they? Though, so it like affects certain bubbles of people or something.
Ah, that could work.
If you're outside the bubble, can you just go, drop, 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 drop?
Because then everyone will suddenly become stationary.
Well, no, it's using some sort of not like an actual physical visible bubble or something. Apparently, it's using like line of sight type things. So if something happens in the line of sight of someone doing a bullet time move, then everyone in that general vicinity is bullet timed.
You could have a sort of time dilation effect where as you got closer to people using bullet time gradually slowed down.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know how that would work. You haven't got any sort of problems with like people's watches in game like not matching each other. Something, I don't know. What would be the bad effects of that if you had time running at different speeds in different areas of the map? Not really, because there is no time really in games. It's just how fast bullets move, I suppose, and how fast people move. It'd just be like everyone slowing down. But then the person who wasn't, like, both people get the exact same advantage, so there'd be no advantage.
Yeah,
So,
as I say, I don't know what they're going to do, but I remember hearing something like that really early on.
well, we'll have to see.
But it was early on, and months ago, and I don't really care. So it's
Rob doesn't care about Max Payne.
no, I kind of don't.
No. I think the shooters coming up that you care about.
I'm still partially interested in that Next Wiz stuff that Rick sort of spoke about a few weeks ago. Yeah,
like Quake.
it's an arena shooter.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
I wasn't overly impressed, but
I'm still not convinced it's actually called Next Wiz.
No, it's Nexus.
It is called
Developers.
Nexus.
Nexus,
Nexus, yeah, according to the
Nexus.
developers.
but spelt really strangely.
Yeah, because you were calling it Next Wiz.
That's because that's what Inside Xbox were calling it in their
Okay.
videos.
You're wrong, Inside Xbox.
Which has been cancelled.
Has it?
All of it has been cancelled.
The American version and the British version, or the whole thing?
The whole lot.
Because Major Nelson or whatever is doing something else.
Yeah, they're only using third-party stuff now, like IGN and GameSpot. They're not doing their own stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
In fairness, I think the dashboard update may have had something to do with that, because it's kind of hidden away now.
Yeah.
Inside Xbox, whereas before it was just like right there. And now you have to go to video, and now there's an Inside Xbox button, and then you have to pick the channel that you want to view stuff from. It's just not easy.
What are they going to spend that budget on then? Sort of.
Nothing.
All right.
Competitions.
Money saved.
Woo! Just give us more points for free.
Director bonuses.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Xbox Banking Arcade.
Reducing the price of rares. No, it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
You're still planning on... you don't have a machine, Zach, an Xbox.
No.
So no way of playing Fez.
No.
You still annoyed about that?
Kinda.
There we go.
Still waiting to see if there's going to be sufficient clamour for a PC version that will override the guy's aversion to making a PC version.
It sounds like everyone's already sort of crowdsourced all the puzzles.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the other people won't. It's like not to go and just look up the answer.
I mean, that's true. But it seems to have taken the internet at large quite a lot longer to work out all the things in this game than in most games, which seem to get solved within 24 hours.
Kinda. They're only puzzles. It's not like some of the long-term projects that internet people will go on, like
the ARG stuff.
Well, no, I was like making incredibly detailed facts or whatever for every goddamn thing. Like, here's the ludicrously complicated and overly detailed Pokemon breeding fact, which has all the different things that you can breed together and all that kind of stuff.
You actually use that, right?
Sort of, but not really. I never got into breeding for specific things. I was just looking for
I never read for specific things. I just put some texters in front of me. That'll do. There you go.
I said breed, but yes, okay.
Breed for specific things. Oh, okay. that makes my retarded comment even more retarded.
Yeah, kind of did.
You're not breeding for specific things.
Well, if I ever choose to breed, I'm hoping it's for a baby.
Yeah, that's not that specific.
I don't really have much choice in the matter. I can't breed myself for a dog or something.
Yeah, Pokemon tend to breed other Pokemon, I noticed.
Yeah, usually.
Congratulations, it's a falcon.
A falcon?
It'd be a rather painful birth.
Yes.
Let's not think about that. I was about to start thinking about that, and I was like, wait.
No. Well... At least it's not a Pidgey. Still.
Pokemon will come in eggs, so...
Oh, that's true. No problem. No matter what.
Yeah.
Whether they're clearly mammals.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They come in eggs.
Because none of them are mammals.
They're all
dinosaurs.
They're all reptiles. Or not that dinosaurs are reptiles. What are they? Birds. Yes.
They're reptiles, but then they separated into birds.
Ah. So, birds are reptiles?
Not any longer.
Yeah. Okay. That cleared up.
Sort of.
So, video games. The news!
Let's do the news!
What's going on?
I've got no fucking idea.
Minecraft came out for Xbox. Woo.
And?
Well,
I don't know anything about it.
Well, I saw various...
It's a game.
It's a finished game, or is it?
It says it's a game on the title screen sometimes. Because it has that random bit of yellow text that changes. One of them just says, it's a game.
My God, it's a game.
Just to make sure. But yeah, that looks kind of interesting in some ways, but dumb in other ways.
How is it interesting, then?
Well, it has...
Screw that, how's it done?
Oh, I don't know. I want to know what's cool about it compared to PC.
One of the cool things that it has is well, it's sort of semi-cool, but it has all the crafting recipes, just in a list that you can scroll through, and it shows you what you need to make them, so you know what you don't have.
Oh, okay.
But it still shows them in, the PC 9 square crafting grid. You just don't have to put them in. It just pulls the shit straight from your inventory whenever you craft anything.
Okay.
So it's just for some reason, it's still showing. It's almost as if it's here's how you're going to learn how to do it in the Xbox version, and then you can take that knowledge to the PC version. Or something.
And they're not going to put that in the PC version.
No, well... I don't know. They clearly just need to put the crafting recipes in the PC version somewhere, somehow.
Right.
Like an enchanting table equivalent where you can just look in a book and go like, oh, so that's how you make that goddamn thing that I couldn't work out.
Well, to be honest, it is a good idea, really, because, if you think about the process you'd have to do on a controller to, like, drag and drop each thing to each location, it would be horrible.
Yeah, but it's just weird that they put that part in at all. It's just like it's because if you think about, like, if they just said, like, here, make a shovel, it's made out of 2 sticks and a piece of iron, and you didn't have the reference of how those were arranged, and where it's like, here's a pickaxe, it's made out of 2 sticks and 3 pieces of iron, it's just like, you wouldn't know that it's because they're arranged in, like, the pickaxe shape rather than the shovel shape, but that's why it makes different things. Because I guess some of them do technically take the same amount.
So does it not show the patterns?
No, it does. That's what I was saying. It still shows them.
Well, that's
cool.
Just
unnecessary.
But you just don't use the patterns.
Yeah, but then it's kind of cool to be able to see that it's in vaguely the shape of a pickaxe or whatever. I don't know.
But it's just because some recipes use the same amount of resources. It's like a pickaxe and an axe use the same amount of resources. It's just the axe, the thing goes round the corner at the top to make an axe shape rather than straight across like a pickaxe.
Right.
So I guess that kind of makes sense. And then the other thing that looked sort of cool about it was how the multiplayer is just like totally drop in.
Okay.
Where it's like the person who creates the game.
Yeah.
It's their world, and they save it.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
And then everyone else just jumps in, and it has split screen, which I was like, "What?
Oh, really?
How the fuck does that work?" It's already like incredibly tight field of view and everything, and now you're going to cram 4 of them onto one screen.
Well, I'll tell you how it works. It's not Java.
Well, that's true.
Meaning that you could do this stuff. And
how have they done this? Ported the whole game or something to?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
That's why it took so long.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so far behind the PC version in terms of
that
updates.
too.
But if
that's why it's done, because it doesn't have any of the stuff, it doesn't have anything adventure update or past that. So it doesn't actually have the end of... I don't know, it must have...
It doesn't have the end, no. That's
well, it must have some kind of ending, because isn't that like a requirement of Xbox Live games?
I don't think so.
It doesn't.
Geometry Wars doesn't have an ending.
It sort of does.
I'm pretty sure Pac-Man doesn't have a true ending.
Well, maybe. But yeah, it doesn't have any of that.
It's a pretty strange requirement, wouldn't it? It's like you have to be able.
Well, it's like you have to be able to complete them or something. Is a requirement of some of them. I guess that depends on what sort of game it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can complete pinball.
Does it run well and all that?
Apart from crashing. Apparently it crashes, like, if you choose exit and save, sometimes that crashes and then doesn't save, so it's better just to make sure you do the manual saving by just popping up the menu and saving and then exiting.
Okay.
Supposedly. But yeah, crashing would clearly suck, because it's like it doesn't save your progress, and then you're like, fuck.
Do they not put some sort of auto-save in?
Apparently not.
Is there an auto-save in Minecraft?
Well, it saves every time you open the menu.
Oh, right.
When you bring up the escape menu, it automatically saves at that point.
So do you find yourself, when you're building, like, pressing escape twice, like, to save?
Not really, but then on the PC version, if it crashes, it tends to dump the save anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
It just, like, takes... Most of the time, it gets away with it. And it doesn't seem to crash that much, obviously, on the PC version. Apparently, the Xbox One crashes enough for this to be a problem.
Dodgy port.
Well,
dodgy and yet extremely complicated port, where they had to convert it to an entirely different system.
I suppose Java isn't too dissimilar, because it's written in proper Java, isn't it? And it's not too dissimilar, I suppose, language-wise from C#. So,
well, that's true.
Yeah.
But you still have to do everything.
You still have to do, yeah, it's almost an entire rewrite, but most of the logic would still work.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
The fact that it's missing all the newer stuff kind of sucks. Like, it doesn't have the hunger bar or whatever. Which also kind of, the main problem with that is if it doesn't have the hunger bar, then your health doesn't regenerate by itself. You have to eat to regenerate health, and that system always kind of sucked. It's like, regenerating health is kind of shitty in a modern game, like stupid kind bullet shooting. In Minecraft it makes sense. Because it's such a hassle to have to carry around like a stack of food and then every time you get injured eat some goddamn food, rather than just having a hunger bar that goes down over time.
I'd eat food whenever I was injured. That sounds like a fine way to live.
Well, if you just cut your hand while preparing food, perhaps.
So I guess that works.
The solution is to eat more food.
Exactly. It's like if I hurt myself in the preparation of food, then I am inclined to eat more food to make up for it.
I think that's fair enough.
It's comfort food then.
And that was my
regular food, and then with an addition of comfort food. They stack.
Certainly do. Can't really sustain yourself on comfort food, can you? It has to be in addition to stuff that
absolutely.
you use to actually survive.
No, and if you stack enough comfort requirements together, you get pizza. It's equivalent exchange of food. Just always ends at the top part. The top class is always pizza.
It's the obsidian of foods. Is that right? Or diamond? What?
No, what is it?
Diamonds, I guess. But I guess in Minecraft, a pizza would be a lot like a cake. Because the cake is made out of, 2 buckets of milk, and then 3 bits of wheat, and then 2 eggs, or something. I can't remember the exact recipe.
What's good with cake? What are cakes good for in Minecraft?
It's just like another type of food, except you can...
I got that bit.
You place it in the environment as a block, and then you eat off the block rather than having it in your inventory.
Can you put a candle on top of it?
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe you can jam a torch on there, I don't know. Oh wait, it's a half... I guess it's a half block, so you probably can't.
Fast.
So you can't recreate the portal scene then?
No.
You can't make a proper cake?
No. It's not that kind of cake anyway.
there are no other cakes.
There's only one cake recipe in the whole of the Minecraft world.
Yep.
It involves these precise ingredients. Indeed.
You should be able to cook badly, I think, in Minecraft. Slightly fuck up the recipe and get something a bit horrible.
Well, there aren't really recipes apart from that one. Everything else is just you shove it in a furnace and shove some coal in the other side and it just cooks it into the cooked version of whatever.
What game was it where there was a cooking system where you could blend items together? Or it was Mario, wasn't it? Paper Mario.
Yeah.
We had a cooking system.
Well, it's not really a system. It's just combine items together and hope you discover one of the recipes.
Yeah. But even so, that was kind of cool. Because, if you put shit together, you'd get shit out.
Yeah, but it's you were just wasting all your items. But then again, when do you ever use items in that kind of game? But then once you discover the recipe to make a better item, you never use them either.
It was kind of funny. I think there should be more cooking elements in games.
Clearly.
For some reason.
Cooking mama.
Yeah. Not an entire game about it. That's probably madness, but sort of just a little element to it. It's with the potion making, I suppose.
You could do cooking in Skyrim, can't you? There is cooking. Isn't there cooking?
There is, but that's just the shitty everything else in Skyrim where it's just a menu and you press the thing and you get the thing.
You just stand over the pot and there's a stupid animation loop, presumably.
Yep.
I haven't even tried to do it, but yeah. Lame.
Cookcraft.
Yeah.
You eat an adventure around an incredibly square version of Heston Blumenthal's house.
So I'll make that map. It'd be the classic where you're tiny and the world is huge. So it could be more accurately modelled.
Spatula.
Otherwise it'd just be one room. It would be very interesting.
You'd have to be Remy the cooking rat.
Yeah, exactly.
For Brad to do, but in Heston Blumenthal's house. What can I make?
Although then you wouldn't actually be able to cook anything because it would be the right size.
That's true, you'd need it.
They'd just be here's a giant pot, and embedded in the side of the pot is a normal furnace where you put the stuff there to go.
Yeah, that wouldn't really work.
Well, you could do enormous bakery or something where you make slabs of cake and then you put the cake together to make a big
or just put piles and piles of cake.
Yeah.
Just make one gigantic cake.
Battenberg would work quite well in the Minecraft universe. It's kind of square.
Yeah, I guess.
There you go.
Screaming children agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Angel layer cake, that'd be right.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to make the different layers.
For a Neapolitan.
Indeed, Neapolitan style.
Plenty of cake.
Is there any other goddamn news?
Any other news? I just read that thing about the Dota. What's it? Blizzard All-Stars, they're calling it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
So now PlayStation are going to see them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about that, though, have we?
No.
PlayStation
Sony
All-Stars.
Is that what it's called? Or is it PlayStation All-Stars? Or has it got a name?
It's either PlayStation or Sony something All-Stars. All-Star Brawl or...
Super Protagonist Brothers.
That'd be a great game. That'd be an awesome game if it was like a Mario-style game, except you could choose different protagonists as the character.
Who's your protagonist?
So
Kratos.
go for a Mario level as Gone Freeman or something. I'm sure someone has probably made that game. Apart from it's they made each individual part of that game rather than mashing them all into one big mashup.
Yeah,
I'm sure people have made this the Mario Portal thing.
That Mario Portal thing does look kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think it's won some awards and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So what's the roster for the PlayStation All-Stars?
They haven't really revealed very many yet, but it's like Kratos and Fat Princess.
Presumably, like, most of their...
Parappa. And
Parappa.
Killzone Guy.
Has Parappa actually been on the PS3?
Obvious. Any of them.
In fairness, they've got plenty of choice. Like, I'd be surprised if Cole from Infamous wasn't there. Is it called Cole?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It is Cole. Yeah.
That's true.
If he wasn't there, Drake almost certainly has to
Too
be
many
there.
just guys, though.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Dude guy.
There'll be Ratchet, Clank, maybe Jack, maybe Daxter.
Those two also might as well just be the same.
Yeah. Well, there'll be an ultimate face-off, I suppose. It's like this very similar duo versus very similar duo. Fight. That's what these games are for, isn't it? Sort of
I suppose.
fan baiting.
Have there been any other ones apart from Smash Brothers?
Well, Marvel vs. Capcom, I suppose.
Yeah, that's more of a traditional fighting game, though, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, but it is kind of a... I don't know, Marvel vs. Capcom isn't that traditional, I suppose. Power Stone was all original, wasn't it? Rather than...
Yeah, but it's that kind of game.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, what was that one? There was one released on XBLA early in its cycle, featuring furry animals with guns or something that was kind of Smash Bros-esque.
Something ARM.
No, it wasn't Heavy Arms, I don't think. But that would be Heavy Arms.
Yeah. I think that worked.
No, I can't remember, but there was an XBLA game that tried to do it, and it wasn't that great.
Right, yeah. Well, is this truly going to be Smash Brothers style gameplay, do we know?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks exactly the same, pretty much.
That's no bad thing, because, you know, Smash Bros. Doesn't really have a competitor.
No, it doesn't.
But they're clearly not going to do as well. So.
No.
Oh no, yeah, there just aren't as
They've
much.
already failed before they started.
Sony stuff just isn't really that, you know, that iconic, I suppose.
And also, you only have 2 PlayStation 3 controllers.
Would there be Lara Croft, maybe, because she kind of, like, started the old PlayStation?
I guess there's
Well, the problem with...
Depends how much licensing they can get.
Yeah, that is the problem with the PlayStation one, because a lot of their shit is third party, really. A lot of the big PlayStation games.
Even Final Fantasy.
Sackboy.
360.
Sackboy has to be in it, surely.
Yeah.
You could do a million different Sackboy characters.
Yeah.
That'd
be like Kirby,
might as well
though,
just
wouldn't
make Little Big Planet
Fighting
beats
game.
about, yeah, Brawl
Make it in
or
Little Big
whatever.
Planet 2, there you go.
Speaking of which, have you heard
Yeah.
of Little Big Planet karting?
Yeah.
They've obviously given up on modern, or, you know, it's a different company, obviously, but it's like, I suppose Sony kind of gave up on the idea that Mod Nation Racers might have been the answer to the create, play, share of kart racing games, and like Media Molecule or whoever they've got developing Little Big Planet karting comes along and goes, well, fuck it, we'll do it instead then. Probably makes more sense. I think LVP's more popular than it.
It basically was LVP for karting already, so it's like just change the character model and there you go.
Yeah. Well, it depends what they're going to do, but perhaps like Mod Nation maybe tried to have a little bit too much attitude. You know, because attitude doesn't really work outside of the 90s. It's...
But this is a PlayStation 3.
It doesn't work outside the 90s.
PlayStation 3 is
God, that's
hardcore.
Well, the 90s was kind of that age, wasn't it? The MTV bullshit generation thing, where everything had to be in your face, recycling to the extreme.
I don't think that's a good example.
Once it's to the extreme, then it's
rad, man.
radical.
Tubular.
Radical Islam. Yeah.
Right. Moving on. Yeah, so I don't know. And they haven't really said much about it other than showing a screenshot of Sackboy in a cart.
Oh, okay.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
You pretty much know what you're getting into here.
In kart racing news, I think the next I was telling you the other day, the next Sonic All Stars kart thing looks pretty cool.
I'm surprised. I still can't quite believe you when you say that.
I don't know.
It's coming from your mouth.
Yeah.
If it was coming from my mouth, then I might believe myself.
Well, it's like first of all, it's got all the transforming karts onto air, sea, and normal land-based racing.
But drop the killer hook. Drop it.
The hook. Well, I was just saying that it's got a whole bunch of bizarre and what was it? Turtle Rock, was it?
Black Rock. Yeah.
Talent.
Which might actually make it amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose the guys at Blur, after making their game, that they kind of said, you know what, let's make a kart racing game for adults, like they did in Blur, and then maybe they've just sort of turned around and said, let's make a kart racing game for people who like kart racing.
Yes, the universal appeal that is car racing, except got to beat Mario Kart. I think they could probably do it.
What if Sega did a Smash Brothers?
They don't have enough characters.
Quite a few. Really, they've got enough for an all-stars kart racing.
All of them would be from Sonic.
True. They can have a game all to themselves.
And they already did that on Game Boy, so there you go.
Yeah, the dwarf from Golden Axe, and you know, if you think about the roster in All Stars Racing, it's not that bad. It's quite a lot of Sonic characters because it's Sonic and Sega All Stars. But you got the fighting games. You got Ulala from Space Channel. You could probably have Michael Jackson if you were going down the Space Channel.
No, you couldn't. They never licensed that.
No, but you know, Michael Jackson was in it. Damn it!
They've added the Super Monkey Ball character. I think there's a whole Super Monkey Ball level and stuff.
Yeah, they had that in the first.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They had Monkey Ball themed stuff, Samba de Amigo type stuff, Jet Set Radio type stuff, Choo Choo Rocket stuff. That's
all those big Sega games that came out a million years ago, and there was only one of them.
And they haven't really made any new sort of Sega franchises anymore, have they?
Rise of Nightmare, whatever it was called.
Panzer Dragoon, it's got Panzer
I suppose they might do Rise of Nightmares, but it's not really that iconic, I suppose.
No, it's crap.
I finished it in a night.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But they already made a Sonic fighting game, so...
Years and years ago, on a really poorly developed, ancient Virtua Fighter engine.
No, not that one.
Not Sonic the Fighters, you mean?
No. I was talking about the GBA one.
Oh, that doesn't count. That was shit.
That wasn't that shit.
It was pretty shit.
Well, it was okay for, like, a Game Boy game, I guess.
What was it called? Was it just, like, Sonic Battle or something?
Yeah, I think it was Sonic Battle.
Have they not put Sonic into Smash Brothers yet?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they did, didn't they? In the last one.
Yeah, he was in Brawl.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But I was just saying then perhaps they need to do, like, Sega all-out one.
I think they don't have them. They don't have the right studios to do that kind of thing, I don't think.
Nintendo should just buy Sega.
As we always say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could probably afford it round about now with all that stack of Wii money, although they started losing it, didn't they, after the 3DS launch?
Yeah.
But they'll probably be alright. It'll be all Wii U at the E3 this year, won't it?
Wii U.
Because there won't be any other next-gen launches, as far as apparently. Yeah.
No, not this year, anyway.
I really thought it was
so they're not going to even announce Xbox this year?
I don't think so.
Microsoft and Sony have confirmed they're not announcing anything.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I bet that's probably a good idea, a good strategy for them, because otherwise we'll be waiting like a year and a half.
What are they going to do at their press conferences? How are they going to fill that time?
That is a very good question, because you know they've pushed Kinect for the last 2 years, and we still haven't really seen any sort of killer app, I suppose, for it. I mean, Child of Eden was kind of cool.
It's like last year, if you think about Sony's one last year, they didn't seem to have anything. Let's have medieval moves. Great job, Jeremy. That was the time filler, that.
Yeah, this is going to be even worse.
Yeah, the move has done nothing, has it? Really done nothing. Right. Oh, I suppose we might all see from that shitty Peter Molyneux fable. Oh, well, will we? Because it's not Peter Molyneux anymore, surely.
No, he
left.
Well, apparently it was like he was done at that point. It's like his involvement with that game was done. It was like it's all just coding from here on out or whatever. So he could leave without it cocking that game up.
Well, maybe they've just decided in his absence to go, right, you know what,
rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to fail because Molyneux told everyone that this game was one thing when it clearly is not. We're going to rewrite it and do over. Save ourselves.
Doesn't sound like such a bad idea.
It's not on rails.
It's not on rails. I love that. He tried to redefine what on rails meant in order to avoid that. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be at E3 this year.
Mr. Caffeine. It's all Mr. Caffeine all the time.
Mr. Caffeine, all Ubisoft.
No, everyone. He's just going to do all the press conferences.
And he'll film most of the time.
Yeah.
He's Ubisoft, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's alright.
Because if he was Sony, that would really suck.
That's alright, I don't care too much for Ubisoft anyway.
They're probably going to have things to talk about.
Yeah, they actually might have a press conference.
It's all going to be Ass Creed 3, isn't it, for them?
Well, really, their press conference will be basically exactly the same things that it was last year, only again. Like Ghost Recon and...
There's another Rayman game, isn't there?
Yeah.
Or something. After this.
It's going to be on the Wii U.
Like everything at E3.
Yeah.
It'll be all just Wii U, constantly Wii U stuff.
I wonder how much of Black Ops 2 we'll see.
I don't know. Do they tend to show stuff at E3?
Did we speak about
that? They did last year,
actually,
that was the Microsoft thing where they were like, holy shit, look at this Modern Warfare 3 footage.
Have we spoke about Black Ops 2 on
I don't think we have.
Black Ops 2 is totally happening.
Indeed. It's all near future stuff, right?
You know what?
Too near future, though. Boo.
You know what? Weirdly, I don't know.
It's
what
not like 2142.
I don't know what Kips thinks about this, but weirdly, I'm actually quite excited about this one. I think after passing up Modern Warfare 3, because the first Black Ops was pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, Black Ops, the first one was awesome. It was definitely my favourite COD game.
And it had the classic COD problems in the single player, but I warmed up to the multiplayer eventually.
I thought it was one of the best campaigns out of the COD series.
Yeah, story-wise, but it had the same COD issues as like enemy closets and get up to a certain point and all of a sudden the enemies disappear and your team moves up and that shitty bit with the barrels.
I don't remember that.
There's that bit in Vietnam where there's all these guys coming over the ridge in front of you and you're up high and you have to kick barrels down.
Oh, yeah.
That was bloody awful, that bit. It was both impressive and awful at the same time because it was like, oh, big spectacle, shitty gameplay.
No, I don't play them for the campaign, though.
No, you don't. You basically didn't play, like...
I've played all the campaigns.
Okay.
But I just play for it to play it. I don't really care about it that much. And then I just play multiplayer all the time because it's freaking awesome.
So what do we know? Do we know anything about Black Ops 2 multiplayer then?
In terms of zombies...
Yeah.
That's coming back, obviously. Okay. And it's now 8-player zombies.
Okay.
Ooh.
Which sounds pretty awesome because zombies was amazing. Although I never really played that much of it.
Well, and they're making it so you have... So instead of like being a fixed area now, like there's a large amount of roaming. You know, the levels for zombies will be quite big, and you can sort of like supposedly pick where you are a bit more. Because it all started a bit... I don't know, I never played zombies that much, in fairness, so I haven't really got much of a handle on it, but it's like, it always started out as, you know, you're that tiny little area and you expand a bit as you play, but
you buy new areas.
Yeah, but apparently this time it's like on a fairly large scale, which sounds cool.
That's not going to matter because it'll be the classic, like, you'll find the one spot.
Yeah, make a bunker, stay there. But you do have to sort of spread out, don't you, in zombies, because you find the upgrades are scattered around the world. So if you want better stuff, you have to go find them and buy them then with your cash, but you still have to get to them. So you can't just go back, make a bunker and just buy stuff constantly. If you want to get better stuff, you've got to move.
And you run out of ammo, so you have to.
So that's kind of cool. That could be interesting. Do we know if we're getting Spec Ops?
No, I don't think it'll have Spec Ops.
No, that always was an Infinity Ward thing.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's not a Treyarch type thing.
But I don't like Infinity Ward's take on the multiplayer. I didn't like COD 4 very much. And
COD 4 is what made COD what it is now. So you can't
COD. Sorry, I get that the wrong way around. COD 4 was okay, but Modern Warfare 2's I didn't grasp with. I thought they just went a bit mental.
So 2 was okay. 3 is just nowhere near. The problem with 3 is because Black Ops did a lot of good things, like the wager matches and things like that, which were just awesome fun.
Yeah,
it kind of felt like a step back because it didn't have any of that stuff in it.
Yeah.
So I don't really like what they're doing in the multiplayer. It seems to be now like the tables have turned, whereas before Infinity Ward were the ones innovating. And
there's a lot of calls.
Infinity Ward are kind of different people now, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Half the team left, didn't they? Yeah.
There's a lot of calls though for Black Ops perhaps to rein it in a bit, like because I'm not sure I agree with it, but a lot of the internet is saying it's like, well, they went a bit perhaps too mental with the kill streaks and things in in the last 2 iterations, and to the point where they're a bit too powerful. So it's like,
I think
we'd
Black
quite
Ops
like to see them to pull it back. Well, yeah, apparently Modern Warfare 3's like streaks and stuff are insane.
Like the Modern Warfare ones are annoying because you get things like the Predator missiles and
you get Predators in
not Black Ops. You don't.
You get those sort of. Like ones that fly around levels. The javelin.
Then they're a lot less annoying than Predator missiles.
I suppose they just come out of nowhere.
And if they've got the javelin and you kill them, then they've lost it. If they fired a rocket already, so there's nowhere near as annoying as the Predator, which
there was
comes
some
straight from the sky.
seriously irritating stuff, though, wasn't there? Like the chopper gunner and things like that, and the chopper you can actually fly. They were fucking irritating.
Yeah, but you can avoid them,
and you can take them down. But they're just It required, that was how I found the game became a bit more entertaining for me, was when I started using the stealth loadout, so I'm invisible to them, stuff like that. And then it became a bit more enjoyable, but it's quite frustrating, I think, because it's like it's cooler when you are them, but it just unbalances the game so much because you get like 10 or 15 kills quite often in one of those things, and it's like, well, the entire balance of the game gets fucked as soon as anyone does that.
Yeah, I've always hated those sort of chopper things. I think the ones that aren't manned are fine.
Yeah. Yeah, the unmanned ones aren't too bad. You can take them out slightly easier because they have this sort of delay, don't they? And like they do a round of shots, and then for a while they're just sitting there, letting you. Just gives you an opportunity to fire an RPG off or something, or call in a. Well, I suppose you get the air. Well, you don't really get the anti-air strikes, do you? In Black Ops,
you get SAM turrets.
You get SAM turrets, yeah. But there used to be one in Modern Warfare, wasn't there, where something took out the air targets, like an airstrike or something? Or?
No, I don't think so.
I think of a different game.
World in Conflict.
Yeah, probably.
That's a bit of a different game.
Oh man, now that you've mentioned that, I actually feel like we should play some more of that.
I bet there's no one playing it.
No, that was such a good game.
So do you think with the new theme of the new Black Ops, the kind of kill streak bonuses you're going to get are going to be
more
quite
mental, couldn't it? Yeah.
Drones and shit and walking tanks and
it's going to be different, but I'm hoping because of the difference it'll be more balanced. Like, for example, drones aren't going to be very annoying because they're probably just going to be spotters kind of thing, maybe with
like
a gun on it.
Spy planes like they were before.
Not really spy planes, but like the one in... Is it Battlefield where you can get that drone
the UAV thing?
That kind of thing, I reckon it'll be like, which won't be that bad at all.
Yeah, sure.
And then the walkers will probably be... I don't know.
I doubt they'll be in the multiplayer.
I don't know. If it's like Blacklight Retribution, which is that free-to-play FPS I keep going on about, they have a thing in there where you get enough points in a match, you can buy a mech that you get in and go around killing things. And it doesn't unbalance the match too much.
Well, it depends how well they do it. If it's like... Because the mech screenshot I've seen makes that thing look fucking enormous.
Yeah. Which
totally wouldn't work in most COD-style levels. And it's like, if it was like... perhaps if they sort of carefully balance it and make it a bit like the suits from Gears, for instance. In Gears 3, you get those, like... cool shielding suit things. Yeah, I forget what they were called, but if they were a bit more like that, then that would be cool.
You kind of get those things in Mass Effect 3, actually, sort of gorilla suit type mech things.
Yeah, but they haven't really announced much about the multiplayer yet, so no one really knows what's going to be in it. But...
No, in fairness, I'm surprised they announced it this early. I thought E3 was going to be the drop, but...
They instead they had to shove it into a basketball game. Which I guess makes sense as well.
I guess so.
And there's all that furore, isn't there? Because they released a trailer with blaming, like, what they're called, Anonymous for terrorism and things like that. And there's Anonymous attacked them and posted all the guy's details online. With all his wages and all that kind of stuff and his home address.
That's a bit harsh. Anonymous are normally a bit more...
No, but it was because basically in their video they were saying terrorism is... They're terrorists, basically, is what their video was saying.
Yeah.
Well... thing about Anonymous is they have no centralized control, so it's just one random dude. Who you could go on and say, "Yeah, I'm Anonymous."
Exactly.
You can just do something illegal. Hence the name. Yeah.
No, I can't say what I think. The problem is now is I can't say anything, can I? When you're in danger when you talk about Anonymous.
It would have made us in this podcast. Holy shit!
It could be anyone. It could be you.
Yes, I'm going to go home and hack your account.
Yeah. I wasn't really planning on getting another modern COD again this year. But now
they made you excited.
It's making me more glad that I missed last year. I really, it
was disappointing.
There was a point. There was a period of time where I felt perhaps maybe I'd missed out on Modern Warfare 3. The guys I was working with at the time all got into it, and there was a sort of a social thing going there that I wasn't a part of. But now, totally justified. Skip Modern Warfare. I'll just go straight to Black Ops 2.
You had Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield was much cooler.
And always Team Fortress.
And always Team Fortress. Team Fortress will never die. And it makes you wonder, like, will there come when will the day be that there's a Team Fortress 3? And then you think, never, because it's Valve.
Yep, they can't make a game with 3 on the end.
Fear of 3.
It's like World of Warcraft. When is that going to have another one? World of Warcraft 2. It's going to be so long.
Oh, I wonder if they get
a new expansion pack soon, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Pandas.
They must be getting close to thinking about it. I suppose it is Blizzard. They don't get close to thinking about anything.
Well, if they do get close to thinking about it then takes like 5 years to actually make the thing.
Yeah,
oh, true.
5 years, you think? There'll be another WoW?
The thing
you heard it here first, cutting edge news.
The thing that always confuses me whenever I think about World of Warcraft or whatever is like, World of Warcraft is actually the same age as Eve. It's like...
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like... What?
Eve seems younger.
Eve seems older to me.
Oh, really?
It's like I played Eve on a 56k. It's like that seems like way older than World of Warcraft.
Oh, true.
It's
I
at
did
the
it.
same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eve must be slightly older.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a bit older, but not in terms of like years.
No.
So I thought it was the other way around, but actually, when you start to think about it, yeah, you're probably right.
But that's fucking weird. I never was like maybe just World of Warcraft.
Then again, just looking at the graphics of World of Warcraft makes it look dated.
Maybe World of Warcraft just wasn't very big to start with. Maybe that's why I never noticed it.
How do you mean notice?
Well, you know, no
beta
one was
really-
going on about it or whatever.
I don't know, the beta was really popular, wasn't it, for
Wow.
World of Warcraft?
Betas are always popular with a set of people.
And I suppose it was Warcraft, and after we'd had a number of failed IPs.
And we were never into
involving
Warcraft or anything, really.
No, not especially.
None of us were that into Warcraft 3 or
3.
anything.
It's a cool
Or
game,
even
though.
2.
You
2 a
played
bit.
2?
Oh, we played 2 quite a bit.
Yeah, but that's not really the same thing at that point.
Just it was mostly for clicking on sheep.
And boats.
Hello, you.
Okay, righto. I love the peons. Good, awesome. Captain on the bridge.
Your sound card went perfect.
Your sound card.
Was it Warcraft or Settlers that managed to break one of my old machines when it tried to install itself to the root of C?
No, that was my machine, and it was Micro Machines 2.
No, I'm sure it was either No. I think that happened as well. But there was a point where we tried to install either the Settlers 2 or Warcraft 2 on one of probably the old 166 that we had.
Wouldn't trust the settlers.
And I think it tried to install to root of C, deleting Windows, or deleted the auto exec bats and things like that, which were kind of necessary to start Windows.
My one didn't
Back in
delete
the day.
anything, it just wrote itself into the boot system, so it launched itself before Windows.
Oh, really?
Once it got the DOS, it launched directly into the game instead of continuing to launch Windows.
Oh, that's quality.
Which was something of a problem.
Oh, I like that. You don't need Windows.
It's like,
like
this computer is now your dedicated Micro Machines 2 machine. You can't do anything else.
That's cool.
It's now a Micro Machines box. Sticking in an arcade. Awesome. So, yeah.
I'm trying to figure what else. Other news happened.
Shall we move on?
That shitty Fable game came out on XBLA.
That's not news.
It's shitty.
Yeah,
Have
exactly.
you played it?
No. The
We just
internet
know
has
it's shitty.
spoken.
Okay.
The internet has declared that it is shitty.
Should we go for what you've been playing?
I can't believe news
Right,
lasted
that's
that long.
Who wants to go first? Let's ask our guest, seeing as he's here. What have you been playing, Rick?
Well, as I just recently purchased a brand new PC of awesome.
Indeed.
Yes.
The power.
I finally suck slightly less at games that we can play together.
Yay!
Have you
in
got,
theory.
have you got an SSD?
No,
they're awesome.
I didn't want to waste that money.
They're expensive, yeah.
On that.
How much of hard disks come down now that they actually started up the manufacturing again?
They're coming
They
down,
are
actually. You can
coming
get
down,
two,
yeah.
you can
Thank
get like
goodness.
1 terabyte for like 60 quid, which is still slightly
We'll
more
have to do
expensive
that.
than it was, but it's not bad. It's coming down.
Yeah, I only got a terabyte, but it's enough.
That's easily enough, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing actually a free game called Blacklight Retribution,
Uh-huh.
which is actually surprisingly awesome.
Is it freemium? Do you pay for, like, guns and shit?
You can, but you can also get them with points you get in game.
Yeah.
So and it has a weird system actually, whereby stuff you buy, you can either buy it for the day, for 7 days, or permanent.
You can rent
So
your
there's a
gun.
rental.
Battlefield
kind of like
Heroes did
renting,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Alright.
Which was shit. Mainly in Battlefield Heroes it was shit because
Game was shit.
well, yeah, but also the basic RPG, the anti-tank guy doesn't start with the RPG, which you need to shoot tanks.
Oh,
You
that's
had-
atrocious.
You had to buy that.
Oh,
Like, what the fuck?
That's pretty bad.
Did you just spend all your points each time on renting the anti-tank gun?
Yeah, the points that you made from earning
Okay, please.
you did earn some in Battlefield, so but you had to keep rebuying that fucking rocket launcher.
yeah. That's the only problem with it, but it works quite well because the point to buy it for like a day or something is really, really cheap. So
Cool.
So you can just experiment, basically.
yeah, and like if it expires, you can just buy it again next day. It doesn't really affect your points that much. So
Is it a class-based shooter?
no, everyone has the same gun.
Right.
You can, but you can modify it to do different things. So it's the same gun,
Yeah.
but you put different parts on the gun to make
yeah.
it like a shotgun or a sniper rifle, for example.
Oh, interesting.
That's cool.
So there's no like different guns; it's all the same gun, just modified. And you can change like 7 or 8 different parts of the gun to change.
You can mix and match them.
Yeah, so you can change the scope, you can change the barrel, and just to change things like the recoil, all that jazz, and fire rate, etc. So you can experiment in loads of different ways to find your perfect setup, basically.
Or can you make retarded things like a scoped shotgun? Or...
You can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. So if you want a sniper rifle with no scope, then go ahead. But
awesome.
It takes a little bit of. It took me a long time to work out what equipment I needed to be able to survive and do well. It took me like 5 or 6 hours or so to actually figure out a setup that I could actually kill people with.
James pulling the face of that meant 5 or 6 hours of anger.
There was a lot of rage going on, but I rage at everything.
Yeah,
so.
pretty much.
What sort of setup did you need? Can you translate that into like Battlefield 3?
No. But basically, I upgraded to an assault rifle with a fairly low scope,
right,
and reduced the recoil quite heavily, because that was my main problem. Is because it's almost like Battlefield in terms of like when you shoot, you get a lot of recoil, like realistic.
Battlefield's quite ridiculous for its recoil.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad, but to start with, it is pretty bad. So and the spray, like it has a system where the longer you hold the trigger, the more the spray.
Right.
So you have to burst fire. That's something I didn't realise at the start because I was treating it like COD, where you could just run around and shoot, and it would be like
spray and pray. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's not like that at all. You have to be like proper burst firing it, and it's pretty cool.
Go to Battlefield 2142 and get the gun where it gets more accurate the more you fire.
Really?
Yeah, one of the heavy machine guns was like because it was the future. It had like ridiculous gyroscopic stabilization. So the longer you fire, the more accurate it actually got, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, there does seem to be a few problems with hit detection. Like, if you get to point blank range and you just spray, if you're that close, you should just be hitting, but sometimes it doesn't seem to...
I find that with most shooters, in fairness, though. It's like the close range spray and pray seems a bit stupid at all times. It's like, you can be right up in someone's face, firing, and for some reason your spray is wider than 180 degrees or something, They could be all up in your face, and somehow your bullets are missing.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't get that.
But probably the most important feature of the game, which I wasn't utilising for quite a while, is a thing called HRV, which is Hyper Reality Vision.
Right.
Where you turn it on, and it's basically wall hack, so you can see exactly where everyone is, both teammates and the enemies.
Okay.
But what's the catch?
You can only use it for a very short period of time, and then you have to wait for it to recharge to use it again.
Oh, I see. Interesting. So that could be kind of cool.
But it is really, really handy, because I wasn't using it enough to start with.
In fairness, what they've done there is they've actually given you perhaps a reason to not rage, actually, because it's like, how the fuck did he know he was there? Oh, right, he has that thing that everyone has.
Because you don't have a radar either, so you have to use it to know where people are.
Because that winds me up in a lot of those games. You can be like, no matter, like, even in Black Ops or something, when you're playing super stealth and everything like that, you can't be seen on the radar. You've got a silencer on your gun, so you're not showing up on the mini-map at all. Someone will just pop around the corner and know exactly where you are. Start firing before they turn the corner. It's like, how the fuck did you know that?
Yeah.
Wallhack.
Yeah.
I was reading about those the other day. I never knew how they worked before, but you hack into the DirectX layer or whatever, so it's not even the game layer. So that's why they can't like patch it out, because you're hacking in between the libraries that they're calling or whatever from the game. You're actually getting in. And interestingly, there's a legitimate use of that. Of interfacing with the DirectX layer rather than the game is the Steam overlay. That's why it works with all those games, because it just gets in between the graphics card hardware and the game itself. So you don't have to like include a whole bunch of API hooks into your game for it to work. It can just work on whatever, because it just paints itself over, or all that stuff. Yeah. But that's why it's so hard to get rid of wall hacks, because you can just get in.
Yeah.
But then again, why would that happen on Xbox though? That's a hell of.
I think I was looking up where you could. Someone's actually made a thing where you literally just plug in a USB stick into your Xbox, and that will load into your Xbox, whatever the hack. So you just load up the game, and it will instantly have hacks. You just literally download the thing, put it on a stick, plug it in, and off you go.
Oh, dear.
It's that easy.
That's just
Surely that's slightly more detectable. and
Probably, yeah.
buy the game. Then
Hopefully they can.
There were some pretty severe hacks the last couple of times we played Battlefield.
there were some proper hacks going on. Not when we played with you, but we had a few games where people were using the was it the personal protection weapons? Is it that they're called, the PPWs?
Well, that wasn't so specific to the gun that one guy had.
No, but basically, this is the way it was described. The way you could tell it was a hack more than anything else. PPWs, not very accurate, incredibly rapid fire, good close range weapons. This guy could snipe with it with perfect headshot accuracy.
But that wasn't the way you could tell it was a hack. The way you could tell it was the hack was because he was sitting in the first spawn, firing in a random direction, and everyone in the game was dying.
I was getting to that. You've just sort of ruined my build-up there. I was going from least to worst egregious scenario, but yeah.
I don't think that was the only one that I noticed, because we saw two separate guys doing that exact same hack.
Yeah, I was getting shot. You're getting shot through mountains, that kind of stuff.
It's like I saw someone using this hack thing on Halo as well, on Halo Reach on Xbox, where it was just plugging this thing in the USB, and he could he didn't even have to aim; it would just fire it a headshot instantly every time. Just bullcrap like that. But yeah, apparently there's hacking in Blacklight as well, as you would imagine, but I've never seen it, so it must be fairly low problem.
What do people really get out of it? Honestly, it's such
I know.
shit, isn't it?
That's my problem with it. How is there enjoyment in?
Maybe they just like ruining people's day.
Yeah, probably.
I suppose you do get quite a lot of feedback on the text often when people know it's there. It's like, get out, you fuck! And yeah, it got quite vocal on that Battlefield server.
Because no one could do anything apart from type at that point.
Well, the thing was, is then the guy just rather casually just goes, okay, I'll stop now.
Well, one of them did. Yeah. The other one just left after a while.
Yeah.
And he was switching team as well. It was just like, he'd kill everyone on one team and then like do that until people started realising and stopped spawning, and then he'd just switch team and kill everyone else.
What a waste of time.
But I suppose he probably got reported.
Yeah, he got reported to hell.
I tried to report it, but I couldn't work out where you actually make that kind of report.
Right. It's kind of shit because there isn't a good way of doing it. In the battle log, there's that you have to go to their profile page, and there's that.
Well, that's what I used, but that's not really for reporting that.
No, it's technically for reporting problems with the profile, as opposed to their behaviour in the game. But it's the best we have. So I think the Battlefield staff recommend you use that, from what I've read on the forums. It's like, because it's the only real way you have of targeting individuals like that. But yeah, he got reported. Lots of people did it.
No, I'm sure they did, yeah.
They were all talking about it on the server. So.
But did they do it?
Yeah,
I did.
The other problem is, will EA do anything about it?
I doubt.
Well, the other question is,
what
happened to Punk Buster?
Yeah, that's supposed to stop
exactly,
this shit. Punk Buster's historically been pretty good at this.
Well, the Valve anti-cheat's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty powerful as well. You very rarely see a hack on Team Fortress.
There was that one time.
There's been a few times.
That I remember, specifically.
I'm sure.
Where there was that one, where it was that heavy who was super fast and just murdering everyone instantly.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious.
That'd be pretty funny to see, to be honest.
The thing is with hacks, it's quite sometimes they are just quite hilarious to see. Like I have seen ones in Team Fortress. There's some kind of spike hack or something where people were just like jumping ridiculous distance in like a teleportery manner.
Well, that's almost just like the old like jiggle your modem trick where you like or create lag deliberately.
Maybe, but that usually. How that always used to work on Halo is that the client side detection was a little too strong. Like the disconnect hack was like you'd take it out for a split second, shoot the guy load in the face, and plug it back in. The game would assume that's legitimate, and the guy would just die, and he'd be alive because for some reason it doesn't. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't work both ways. So there's something funny like that, which kind of worked in principle. It made Halo 2 one of the fairest online games. When without the fact that people would try and pull the cable out and do it. It's like if it was under normal circumstances, that actually made the game fairly fair because the guys with lag usually do suffer more than the guys without. Low ping bastards and all that, and it kind of leveled the playing field. It wasn't ideal, but it was pretty close. And then of course it got abused horrifically because people figured it out. And it's like, it's a shame. We'll never see that again. But But yeah, this guy was sort of like just making weird hops across this Team Fortress level faster than you ever possibly could. So, and I think he was playing a scout, weirdly, so he'd just go hop, 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 shoot in the back, hop, hop, hop.
That sounds quite funny.
Yeah. It looked funny. Because he was just like, pew, pew. It was fucking annoying, but it looked funny.
So, Black Label Society. No, Black Label...
Blacklight Retribution.
Blacklight Retribution. That's it.
Yeah. Graphics on it are absolutely fantastic. You know, it's a free game and it's using the Unreal Engine and it looks absolutely phenomenal for what it is, yeah. So I was quite impressed with that. I was expecting, you know, fairly, you know, standard graphics, but it's actually, yeah, probably like COD kind of level graphics, but it's actually really, really impressive. Like all full DX11 stuff going on and
cool.
It looks really good, yeah. The map's actually pretty damn good as well. I mean,
how many did you get?
I'm not sure. There's probably 5 or 6, maybe a few
not
more.
Bad
but
for a free game.
Yeah, but they're all quite decent, you know. It took me a while to figure out what the hell's going on in these maps, but once you get your bearings, they're pretty reasonable, yeah. I enjoyed playing on them. The game modes, there's only a few game modes. You got, you know, the standard ones, basically King of the Hill, Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, and Domination.
Right. Is there a sort of one that everyone plays?
There's sort of a balance, really. There's
cool.
If you want to play a game type, there's always going to be a game going for it. So the only problem is King of the Hill has a fairly big issue where it's basically luck because it depends where you spawn. If you basically if you spawn near the point, then that's it. You know, the other team's got no chance.
Yeah.
So that mode is pretty much not worth playing because it's just luck. Basically, there's no chance.
Oh right. So the game. Does the hill not move then throughout the game? It does,
but basically the team that starts near the point has got a huge advantage.
Oh, right. Just because you have fixed spawn, do you, in those games? Or
no, I think it's like it just matters who spawns first in the right place.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of thing. Because that's my experience anyway. It seems like whoever spawns near it is going to win, basically. So I wouldn't bother playing King of the Hill, but I don't really like that mode anyway. I'm more of a domination team deathmatch person.
King of the Hill has only ever been good in Halo.
Yeah, in Halo it works well.
It's a laugh in Halo. Especially that, do you remember, was it the Foundry or something in Halo 2? Which was this, I think it was a Halo 1 map that was remade or something, or, well, I don't know, I can't remember which way round it was. But it was just that sort of brown rock, sort of stone stuff, sort of like circle. And then there's this little set of buildings in the middle. And the hill would naturally appear right in the middle of that, so it's like everyone would spawn around the outside of the level and there'd be constant grenades getting thrown into the middle. That was a laugh.
That was fun.
I think we used to play that on rockets as well.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, the only issue I'd say is for new players especially, when they come into it, I can imagine them being very frustrated, simply like I was, because simply the stuff you start with is just not good enough.
And you just don't know what you need.
Yeah, the problem I found was, because my armour and stuff was much lower than if you sort of buy, you know, a couple of extra different pieces, you die really quick. Like, a few shots, you're dead. But as soon as you, like, played a few games and you have enough points to buy different things, then you're fine. Right. But for new people who don't know what they're doing...
You immediately get,
I think there's quite a bit
just
of
like
that.
Every game.
Yeah.
Like Battlefield.
There is that problem with games that have, like, an unlock system, and that often what you start with just isn't competitive. Yeah. I mean, even games that don't have, like, a microtransaction model, like COD and stuff, you are kind of at a disadvantage at first. Because COD always gives you those shitty burst guns, doesn't it, to start with? Like, the assault rifle, the one assault rifle you get to use at the start of COD or something is always one of those fairly terrible put guns.
I don't think it was in Black Ops or Modern Warfare 3.
It was definitely in all the ones previous. I think in Black Ops it is a put.
But I think they've addressed that kind of in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops, in that you unlock a new weapon pretty damn
very
quickly.
Yeah. Which does alleviate that somewhat. And you could always use an SMG.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so that is a little bit of a problem. But as I said, it's pretty easy to adjust that once you've got enough points, which only takes like 2 or 3 games. And they give you, like, every level up, they give you a pack, which basically gives you a selection of stuff for 3 days to use that you wouldn't possibly normally have at that level. So that gives you another way of getting into it without being frustrated too much. So, but it just doesn't explain it enough, in my opinion. Like, when I went into it, it does have tutorials to sort of explain things, but it doesn't give you enough detail for you to understand what the hell you're doing. Because I when I first started, I was just like, what the hell is all this stuff? You know, it doesn't really explain anything, but it's just about playing it a few times and figuring it out and just giving it a go, really. But it's definitely worth it for free.
Yeah. Well, no barrier to entry there.
No, exactly, yeah. It's
Just
worth a go.
download it. Okay.
Speaking of which, we still haven't tried Super Monday Night Combat.
No, I haven't tried that either.
It's free. We should just at least try it. By Rick's own logic.
Yeah, but it's like I've only like level 4 or 5 or something, and I'm able to do fairly decent in a team against people who are level 20 odd or whatever, who have got all this crazy stuff. And it doesn't really affect. It's still competitive, no matter what level you are, really. If you know what you're doing,
that's the balance you want to strike.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, check that out, definitely.
Yeah, it's really
I
good.
haven't heard anything about that because I tried Tribes Ascend. That's got quite a bit of noise.
That's maybe quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, all good free to play games. That's what we need. Thanks for kicking things off, TF2, and we'll
Sort of.
And it's a bright future for freeness.
I'm still holding out for PlanetSide, really, before I start making more adjustments to my free-to-play theories.
Is that going to be free to play, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. PlanetSide 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, very.
Hopefully.
If it's good. It looks
If it doesn't suck.
It looks pretty good, but that doesn't mean much, does it? Until you play it.
Yeah.
It's like balance is so important in these things.
Although actually, when I did play PlanetSide 1, it's not like I don't think when I played it, I did that much very much like actual first-person shooting.
No.
It's all like running around and exploring and like trying to infiltrate bases stealthily or stuff because there was really no one there anyway. I did get into one big battle, but then of course it was just like, I'm just going to die over and over and over because I have not really experienced enough to know what I'm doing or have the right equipment to deal with this. I'll just be some fodder.
Make the battle more epic by dying over and over in it. Awesome. So hopefully more of that. Okay, playing anything else? On your awesome new PC? Or otherwise?
Dirt 3.
Yeah?
I'm playing that.
You liking it?
It's fun, yeah.
It's a cool game.
Yeah, I haven't got very far. I've just sort of...
You didn't play Dirt 2, did you?
No, I played Dirt 1 a little bit.
So you can't join in our Dirt 2 versus 3, are you?
I've heard Dirt 2 was very much more arcadey in terms of the visuals.
Well, not necessarily in the visual department.
Like, there's lots of bloom going on and crazy visual effects.
Not as much as one,
There's
though.
quite a lot of bloom in both of them, but yeah, not as bad as one.
fun,
One
yeah.
was one of those classic next-gen games where it had, it had
just over the top.
excessive bloom and quite a lot of brown. It's
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played Dirt 2, so I don't know, but it's fun.
I kind of think, I'm
It's
starting
fun.
to fall on Zach's opinion of it, though, in that I think I prefer 2 in terms of how it plays. Perhaps not in the visuals. Dirt 3 definitely pushes the boundaries in a few places with some of the visuals.
Rain.
Apart from Rain, yeah, but they haven't got that right in any of the Dirts compared to your Colin McRae 4 argument.
Yeah, do you know what I was thinking when I was playing it? Like, the rally stages, they seem really short.
They're quite short.
They're like a minute and a half long.
They're a lot shorter than they used to be.
Yeah.
They get longer. They get a lot longer through the game.
It's like they're short, and yet they're still relatively long for dirt, which is the annoying thing.
It's like, I remember playing Colin McRae 4 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It was insane.
That's a
Like
proper
6
rally
minute
game.
stages or 10-minute stages or something. And
They do get a bit longer, but they never get quite to the length. It's because of the graphics, obviously. You can't just model like Colin McRae 1, like you can model like fucking miles of identical looking terrain like forever. But yeah.
Maybe. I think it has lost something because of that.
because that was awesome playing that. 'Cause you actually had to... It actually felt
That
like a
one
rally game.
had some quite long hill climbs, I thought. Considering the speed that you were moving, they could take like 7 minutes or something. Pikes Peak or whatever, the full course. But, yeah.
And it's not got hardly any tracks in it, really.
No, that was my initial thought. Unless more stuff gets unlocked
They
as you
roll
play
that out
through,
a bit, yeah.
then... Well, no, even if you just browse the single race.
Yeah, that's what I did. There's only
there's
like
not a lot
Norway,
there.
Monte
Yeah.
Carlo, Africa,
They split the countries too much across the.
That's about it.
Across the genres,
Montreal,
across the racing types a bit too much. It's like certain types you'll see in these countries, certain types you'll see in these countries. It's like, I see every type in every country, bitches. It's
because I remember the big, like, pretty much every rally stage in Colin McRae 4 or something.
Yep.
There were loads, yeah.
It just feels like, although games look amazing now, and obviously better physics and all that jazz, it just feels like they've kind of gone backwards in terms of content.
Well, no, I think it's Codemasters have put themselves in a tricky situation with Dirt, because it's like, there is quite a lot of content there, but it's too thin across each class of racing.
Well, it seems like they're splitting them into games now with this Dirt Showdown thing. Maybe the actual real Dirt
maybe
game
the next one
serious.
will actually be more rally, which would be good. I'd love that.
Yeah, I would.
Although Dirt Showdown seems to go quite extreme, doesn't it? It's like destruction events.
Destruction Derby, yeah. Just go mental.
But yeah, maybe they should start thinking about splitting it out a bit more. But then again, would they split out the events that are in Dirt into something else? If you know what I mean? Because they are, at the end of the day, just racing and things like that, I suppose. It's still relatively serious.
I've been playing it on intermediate, I think, because obviously I'm not very good at this kind of stuff, and I found the AI to be pretty damn stupid most of the time. Like, every single race I've been in, at least once, has nearly every car span out or crashed or something, which just seems a bit retarded.
You definitely up it. I think I play like 2 steps down from the max or something, like, or 1 step down, something like that. I put it fairly high, and it gets pretty. The AI still makes the occasional mistake, which is the best thing about it, actually.
It's good that it's there.
You put it on a harder difficulty level. They race like robots some of the time. They race well some of the time, and will still occasionally fuck up because they are proper AI and subject to the physics as much as you are. And it's which is nice. But yeah, I know what you mean. If you ramp it down too much, they go a bit retarded.
Because I don't want to put it too hard, because I just want to play it for fun. I'm not bothered about having that much of a challenge. I just like playing it for fun. But at the same time, I'd wish the AI wasn't quite so retarded, so I could actually race them.
Well, that's the difficult line with racing games, is that for them to be fun, there needs to be a challenge. And I need to feel like I'm not like 4 minutes ahead of them by the end of the race.
Exactly.
There needs to be a close battle. And it's like, I found, and the problem was, I think when I was playing Forza 2 back, a few years back, it was, I perhaps pushed that a bit too far, because to me, I couldn't find the fine line in that. It was, I either win by miles, get owned really severely, or the level I sort of found was, I can sort of win, but I have to practice for a long time before I get any good at this particular car enough to beat them. And it was, I found it difficult to find that fine line. I think that you can find that line quite easily. The levels of difficulty are quite good for that. Like, say, at the level I play it at, it's pretty good. It may take me a few attempts to win it, but it's, they feel like good fights. I feel like I've earned it at that point.
Yeah, so I'll probably have to fiddle with that a bit to find the level I want to play at. But...
Are you doing it with a controller?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably a good choice.
Cool, yeah.
Looks amazing as well, obviously.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, on your system, yeah.
Yeah.
It runs like so well as well. It's like 120 frames a second or something.
It doesn't support 3D though, at all. It's like it's rated excellent it runs like stink on my machine, but it's like it's rated by the Nvidia thing as excellent because, and this is the stupid thing, it's not in any kind of 3D. It's like, it's excellent 3D. It doesn't go wrong because it isn't 3D. It's retarded. And there's some sort of a pixel effect or something that's being applied across the entire screen that means everything is just flattened. Oh, right, okay. So there's no 3D depth at all. It's really annoying because if it runs that quick, Dirt 2 didn't work that well either, in fairness. But it's like, I'd quite like, just put it in 3D because I can. Or I should be able to. They're jipping me out of a dimension.
Yeah, I only got it for like £3, so I'm not too bothered about it.
£3?
Yeah.
Awesome. Where'd you get that?
Off eBay. Someone had a download code going on eBay.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So I've been picking up games pretty cheap lately. Like I suppose that wasn't quite cheap, but Crisis 2 I got for about £6, so...
That's pretty good. Seeing as the only real place you can get it from, unless you find it on disc, is for £15
I got it on disc,
£15, £20 or something off Origin.
There has been some, like, I've found that cheeky wave on Amazon.com where if you change your address to some random place in America, you can get downloads off there. So you can pay American prices, which makes it cheaper.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I downloaded Magicka for like £3, the entire pack with all the DLC.
In fairness, when it's on sale, it's that on Steam anyway.
Yeah, true. But they had like, I didn't get it at the time, but they had Crysis 2 for like $8 or something, which would have been about £4 or something ridiculous. And yeah, they often have some good sales where, all you do, I use the Ritz Hotel as my American address, and you just put that in, and then you can buy it like that.
Brilliant.
I can't believe it allowed that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's what you should do on Steam as well. Get some friends in different countries and then get them to buy you stuff and just gift it. People did do that for a while, but that seems to have it was like that was suddenly when people realised that could work because of the Steam gifting and everything. It's like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever, and now no one cares again. We'll just buy it for whatever price. Too much effort.
Plus, there's always kind of a thing with me. If I buy a PC game, I kind of just want it on Steam.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
You can't, like, Magicka was a Steam one, so I just put the code in on Steam.
Well, did you... Oh, off Amazon? They had Steam codes.
Yeah, it will say if it works on Steam, and then you can just put the code in on Steam.
I'm going to have to investigate this.
I tried putting all kinds of codes into Steam, because I was like, I'm sure this game is meant to be in Steam somewhere, but I can't find it in the list, but maybe if I just enter the CD key, it will have it.
That's how it works most of the time.
But the one I was trying to do, I can't remember what that was. I think it was one of the older Battlefield games or something. I was like, I'm sure I heard this was on Steam at some point.
But it worked for me like that with Rage. You know, the copy you bought me is technically like a disc copy of games for Windows, but I just plugged its code into Steam and it was like, oh, do it this way instead.
Yeah, as long as it's Steam works.
It still goes for Windows.
Well, no, it's not. The Steam version of Rage isn't games for Windows.
No.
Not like Dirt.
No. It's not a crossover.
Everyone on the internet seems to be excited that Max Payne 3 isn't Games for Windows Live. They're like,
I don't know what the problem is. Games for Windows Live is fine.
Seems alright to me. Maybe.
You know, I get proper chivos.
So yeah, okay. Oh, I think we better move on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Zachary, what have you been playing?
A bunch of the same stuff, but more stuff to talk about in the same stuff.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not Assassin's Creed.
That's true.
Yes, can't wait for him to play more Assassin's Creed. Fill this podcast with more Assassin's. What have you got against Assassin's Creed?
We've talked about it so that much. That's what.
That's because there's so much of it. I mean, it's like so.
It's nearly. In fairness, it is. I can imagine it being nearly as annoying as Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim.
Nearly.
Anyway,
well, nearly as annoying as Eve.
They fixed that.
I've talked about that a lot.
Eve can be interesting, though.
Well, I've played it some more.
They fixed the graphics card drivers, by the way, so go back to your Skyrim. It works again on ATI cards.
When did it stop working?
Like, didn't I tell you? I think I said on the podcast, didn't I? I was going to go back into Skyrim at one point, and then suddenly everything was bobbly and see-through, and they're like all blocky and weird. It's like, what the hell?
So that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago then.
Yeah, so it took them 2 months or something to fix their freaking drivers, the retards.
Just don't use ATI.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But Rob said he had enough trouble with NVIDIA with Battlefield and stuff, so I don't know who wins.
Oh, that was back in the day though. When
that was beta drivers and shit. All they're retarded.
Yeah.
Well, no, even the first iteration of official NVIDIA drivers couldn't run Battlefield very well.
On your system?
Yeah, I had to roll back to a beta to get it to work better.
But anyway.
But then they fixed it eventually.
It's all working again, but it's like, what? This game has been out for quite a while. Why would you introduce a patch that would, ruin, one of the main games that's out at the moment?
Well, it's been out for quite a while, so they don't care any longer.
Yeah, but not that long. Plenty of people still playing Skyrim. Especially with
Skyrim was also buggy to start with, so maybe that's not necessarily ATI's fault as well.
It was definitely ATI.
Sort of some kind of combination of ATI and... Because
it worked fine before.
I don't think Bethesda have an announced...
Just open that beer. There we go, we're sorted. Carry on.
I don't think Bethesda have an announced affiliation, do they? They're not like NVIDIA or ATI.
No.
So...
Although NVIDIA seem to win all those things at the moment.
Well, yeah.
Haven't seen ATI one for a while. Yeah, I don't know.
Eve became ATI at some... not ATI, NVIDIA at some point.
Maybe I should get NVIDIA to the next one.
But they don't say... It's not like they have the NVIDIA logo at the start of Eve or anything.
Yeah. Anyway, so Eve.
Yeah, I sort of got back into that slightly. Partially because it was my subscription had just renewed, and I was like, oh, well, I should have cancelled that really because I have been playing it for a while, shit. But then shortly after that, they were like, we're changing it so you can buy in pounds, which makes it cheaper.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. But then it was like, but in order to do this, you have to cancel your subscription and reapply it. But when you reapply your subscription, it adds that time on top of whatever time you already have. So I was like, I'm going to switch it to pounds and buy so it set it to change to pounds next time. But that added onto the one that I already had. So it's like, oh shit, now I've got you for a long time.
Awesome.
So then I started playing again, so it was okay. I'm not wasting that time.
This is a limited time thing with switching all the
No, you had to do it after a certain point, and it wouldn't do it automatically unless you cancelled and re-entered.
Okay.
Because it's a direct debit, or well, it's not. Yeah. It's not a direct debit, but it's a direct thing. Then they aren't allowed to change what currency they take it from.
Oh, I see. Yeah, makes sense.
How much cheaper is it?
It's like a few quid. I think
it's not bad, is it?
I think it's like in euros, it's like 15 euros, and pounds, it's 10 pounds. So it's a little bit cheaper. And I was like, woo! Slightly cheaper, because it had been 15 for ages. I mean, back in the day, it was 15. Back in the day, it was 15, but balanced towards pounds. So everyone else paid the same. I think you could only buy in pounds initially for some reason. But it was like 15, and then it was like, now everyone pays in euros, which made it worse for us. And now it's like, okay, now we've made it so you can actually pay in more than one type of currency. So now everyone can have their own prices, so it doesn't quite suck for everyone quite so badly. And then I went back into Eve, and then I tried to get back into my stupid planetary mining shit, and then I remembered why that was bad. Because it was like, when I was looking at my planets, I was like, oh, I never actually finished changing my planets into the new system. Because they did that patch where they changed it so instead of putting the extractors down and then it just gave you the extraction, the heat map of where the resources were could change over time. And then instead of moving the extractors, they had like extractor heads that you could reposition each cycle. And so it's like slightly more of a interactive system, because I complained about that before, didn't I? Where it was just like, you just put the shit down and then it goes.
You leave it, yeah.
So they made it into this more interactive system, which is kind of bad in some other ways, because it's like, oh, now I have to do this every time. But then I remembered why I stopped doing it, which is that you mess around for ages arranging your extractor heads, and because when you place a head down, it affects other heads, because it's like, it's going to extract resources from here. Not even if they overlap, obviously it affects how much they extract, but even if they're just like nearby, it affects it as well. So you can't just use the heat map and just go, put my extractor heads on where the highest concentration is. You have to like drag them around and be like, oh, it's slightly better over here for some reason. So that, if you're going for maximum resource extraction, it takes forever. But then once you position all the heads, you're looking at this number, which is like how much it's going to extract. And you're like dragging around and it's like, oh, the number's going up, we're right there. But then once you do that, once you actually press go, that number just randomly changes.
What?
And it's like, god damn it, that was the number I was working off from my calculations.
What does it change to?
It's just a different number. I'm not sure how it's like, it doesn't take into account every effect somehow. It takes into account the effect of them being nearby, but not like over time or something. Because the heat maps change over time. So this number completely changes when you hit submit, and I'm like, fuck.
Was that actually optimised or not?
Yeah, it's like all my calculations are completely wrong.
Are you sure, though? Are you sure that isn't still the optimum arrangement?
I don't know. I'd have to go through and put all those numbers in again.
Yeah.
Because I basically dug up my spreadsheets. And that was another problem, because I couldn't remember where all my spreadsheets were, because I had half of them saved in Google Docs and half of them on my hard disk as Excel files. And I was like, where the hell did I write that down? I'm sure I had that somewhere. So I dug all those up, and then I was like, all these numbers make no sense to me any longer. I'm going to have to start over. So I started copying it all out, rewriting all my formulas. And then really carefully went through, balanced everything out with the numbers, and was like, okay, now I've got this perfect system where there's no excesses or anything. It's like, you extract this here, and then you can port it to here, and it uses up all the excess and makes nice finished products. And then all those numbers are wrong. And it's such a hassle anyway. The planetary mining, having to do that. I mean, you can set it going for like a really long time, but then you get shit extraction rate, obviously. It's like, you do it for a short time and you get more, but you have to keep resetting it over and over.
That makes sense.
But I think the maximum time is like 7 days, so you can quite easily just set it going and then just leave the fucker. So I fiddled around with that, and then I did some missions, and I was like, I hadn't actually played Eve since when they updated the turret effects to actually, so it's like, oh my god, when they miss, they actually miss!
Okay.
And like new turret sound effects and stuff. So I played that, did some more of that, fucked around with more industry and hauling crap around, and then there was that big thing in Eve where the markets got totally fucked up by Google.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. So what's going on?
Well, in my part of the universe, or like in my Eve, what's going on is fucking mineral prices are going up. God damn it!
So they actually ruined the economy, the Green Swarm.
Well, it was partially them and partially the last patch where they changed it so like NPCs don't drop anything you can manufacture any longer. They drop like named modules, the slightly improved versions, but they don't drop any of the basic.
Right.
So that like, and those don't really. It's not like anyone was selling those, but they reprocess into minerals. So that's like you don't get those minerals any longer, and drones no longer drop minerals either. They've just gone back. They just have a bounty now, like all the other pirates.
Right. So you just get money.
So yeah, so you don't get minerals any longer. So mineral prices were like, whoop. And then Goosewall were like, let's fuck this up even more.
So how did they fuck it up more?
They just went on a massive suicide spree in like the main trade hub and just killed everything they possibly could.
So the highest of security places,
the biggest trade hub in the entire universe.
Do you ever go there?
No, that's in Caldari space.
Oh right, okay. So it didn't really affect you apart from the
apart from the prices. They have that sort of semi-announced that it's like, maybe next time we'll do it in all the trade hubs and we won't give you any warning this time, rather than saying we're going to do it.
So what's your local trade hub?
Well,
Are you still at this cast place?
Yeah, well, sort of. Most of my stuff's there, but my mission hub is somewhere else.
Right.
But my main trade hub theoretically is Dodixie, except that's one of the main Galent mission hubs as well, except that's not my mission hub, and it's also there's another trade hub that I use that's slightly closer, which used to be, I'm fairly sure used to be the major Galent one, but then I think when they moved the mission agents around, that the Dixie became the new one. But I never go there, because that system is a mess, obviously. Because not only is it a trade hub, there's also people doing missions out of it, so it's just a million ships all the time,
right,
clogging up the undocks on the one station. Because even the trade hub that I do go to, it's like, it has like 7 or 8 stations in the system, but everything is only in this one station, because it's like, everyone has just sort of chosen to have their stuff sold from the same place, obviously, because you want to make it convenient.
Right.
So it's like, all these stations, but only this one.
They pick one, right? So they all look the same.
Well, they don't all necessarily look the same, but it's just another station. Doesn't matter. I don't think it's even the first in the list, which you'd think would make sense. You go for the top one, surely. But yeah. And then Goonswarm were like suicide bombing all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually deeper than that, because what they actually did was... So there was the thing where there's going to be less minerals because of the changes to the NPC drops.
Mm-hmm.
And then Goosewall were like, we can exploit that by blowing shit up. But they've also formed like a cabal of like moon mining where the Tech 2 ships.
Right, so they've got control of all the mining. Right?
Well, they've got the control of like one specific moon mineral, which is actually one of the rarer ones. They've all formed this like trade cabal of everyone who produces that mineral, basically. Mm-hmm. And that one of the main
they can fix prices. Right?
Well, yeah, one of the main uses for that mineral is to make the mining barges.
Ah.
so all the miners that are also getting suicide bombed, because they've started up another initiative, well, another of the classic Hulkageddon that they keep doing, where it's like, we're going to pay you if you go and destroy, because initially it was like...
Destroy all the trading...
Well, initially it was like, destroy all the like bot miners,
right?
Because all the stupid automated gold farmers use that same ship. So it's like, if you can destroy Hulks, we'll pay you for it. But then it's just like, just destroy all of them. We don't really care if they're bots or not. And so those specific mining barges are made out of this moon mineral that they have control of, so they can control the price of that. And there's less minerals to go around, so mineral prices are going up even more. It's like, oh shit.
Okay.
Wasn't it RuneScape or one of those games that decided to cull their... did one of those bot sweeps, and then they discovered that they'd lost half their player base.
Yeah.
Because like half their players were bots.
That was the classic thing where you can easily see where every time they do a bot sweep, where it's like suddenly millions, there's a big spike in how many of those mining barges got sold because all the bots got kicked out and they came back and had to buy all their shit again on their new account. So yeah, I'm sure there was something else that I was going to say about Eve, but I forgot what it was.
Good.
Oh wait, there's the new patch coming, the summer patch.
Oh yeah,
where they're going to put those missile effects in, so you actually have missile turrets and everything.
That's not in there yet, then.
No, not quite. There's some other interesting stuff in that patch as well. I actually went and looked at the page for it, where they were like updating factional warfare to actually make it sort of worthwhile, maybe. Because that was another one of those classics where they introduced it and then left it alone and moved on to something else.
Nothing happened.
And it wasn't that great.
People tried to use it.
So yeah, I'm quite interested for the missile thing just to see where the missile launchers are on my ships. Because I don't fly Caldari, so it's not like missiles are my main weapon. It's like, where are they going to cram launchers onto my ships?
Interesting.
Like the Megaphone. So I only have one launcher on it because that fills up the last slot, but it can technically fit 2. So I'm like, I'm going to put 2 on there just to see where they are.
I'll look forward to that.
Yep.
What else have you been playing?
Quite a lot of Minecraft.
Uh-huh.
Because I was making ridiculous mod shit, because I've finally found a convenient way to fix moving the Minecraft folder around, making copies and backups.
Alright, what's the trick?
There's a mod called Multi-MC where it just manages multiple installs for you, basically. So you just pointed at the .minecraft folder in your user folder, and you can just copy that, and then if you've got an old version of the .minecraft folder, you can insert that as well, so you can switch between versions really easily. And then if you dump all your mods into its mod folder, you can just drag and drop them onto the different versions, and it automatically...
So what does it mod? The executable?
No, it's really just a file management. All it's doing is like creating a copy of the .minecraft folder and inserting all the mod files into their correct places in those folders.
So do you run it separately from Minecraft?
You just run it before. It's just like a launcher, really.
Okay, I see.
Rick, stop fake gunning people.
I was doing a Max Payne dive.
We were having a fairly good mime conversation.
Yeah, I noticed. At the corner of my eye.
What's going on this side of the Saladcast?
Apparently I'm having pasta bake for tea.
You managed to interpret that from all that miming.
How did you mime pasta bake?
Om nom nom.
Okay,
Mouth the word.
Pasta
That would be allowed in
Jack.
cooking Pictionary. Indeed.
So yeah,
First word sounds like faster bake.
the 2 words.
Pasta bake's one word, isn't it? Or...
I don't think it is. I don't think you have any words that have B's in the middle of them very often.
Pasta bake.
Probably.
Masturbate.
Possibly.
Disturbing. Combo.
We're going to be here for a while.
There are plenty of words with B in the middle.
Kebab, that makes more sense in terms of a food stuff. And having an A at the end in the pastry style. So yeah, Minecraft.
Indeed.
I got back into that.
Sorbet.
Yeah.
That's French, that doesn't count.
Fuck the French.
Bolland. Oh, it starts with a B.
Bolland days! That is great!
Swallow bays.
I was like, oh, it starts.
Hobnob.
Yeah.
That has 2 B's.
I
was one of them. The end in the B count.
No.
Hobnob isn't really a word, though. That's
Corn
a
on the
brand.
cob.
Corn on the cob. That is 3 words. And only the end one ends with B.
4 words.
Well,
It
yeah. Of doesn't count as a word. That's only 2 letters.
There isn't an of in
Alright,
it.
okay.
It's not corn of the cob.
It could be.
Corn on the cob.
Why isn't it corn on the cob? Because surely the thing that the corn is attached to is the cob.
I suppose you could call it
It's
on
true, but it's true all, in that, by that joke, all forms of the corn should be corn of the cob, but it's not necessarily on the cob at the time.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
So
it's like even off the cob, it's still corn of the cob.
Corn of the cob on the cob. It's technically accurate there.
Yeah. So anyway, Minecraft. all the mods had updated to 1.25, so I could finally have the new proper version of Minecraft with jungles and all that shit.
How long that's going to last? It's going to be a new Minecraft.
Possibly quite a while.
Everything.
It seems like they did a big flurry of updates just after 1.2, which brought it up to 1.25, and then it's like, now we can relax for a while, which let all the mod makers catch up. It was like, thank God, now I can install Buildcraft and all the rest of it.
Cool. Now's the time then.
Yeah, so I installed Buildcraft and...
Gumbo.
What's a gumbo?
It's like a broth.
That is a food
like
stuff, so I guess...
It's like a brothy soup thing from South, the deep South, Louisiana type thing. It's like fishy, isn't it?
You just cram a little bunch of shit in, basically.
It's like Creole or whatever.
It's just a stew.
Cuisine. Yeah, it's a stew.
So there, I installed Buildcraft, I installed Equivalent Exchange, and then I also
All your favourites.
installed Forestry, which is the expansion to Buildcraft that lets you do automated tree farms without doing them the way I was doing them. The unnecessarily complicated Buildcraft way.
Bamberg.
Fuck's sake.
Did you invent your automated forest, or did you look them up? Or
Well, I guess I did come up with it more or less. I mean, it's a fairly obvious thing.
Right, okay.
But I had to...
Bombay mix.
I didn't look it up, the actual blueprint or whatever. So I made my own stupid design. Although I did I had to go on the wiki when I was doing all that, like, redstone clock and everything to run that fully automated one. Because I don't know redstone wiring that well.
Raspberry.
For fuck's sake.
There are many, many berries.
Yeah, we could be here on less time than that. Just go through them all.
I'm starting to half in it.
So yeah, I reinstalled all that shit. I started making ridiculous things. I haven't actually got to the point of having a tree farm, because weirdly, the tree farm in the forestry mod is like the pinnacle of that, which is kind of weird considering it's the forestry mod.
Yeah, you'd think that would be the base thing, wouldn't you?
You have to work up through, you have to have a peat bog, and then you have to have, a wheat farm, and then you have to combine those together to, get mulch out of the wheat and, peat to run the engines and turn the mulch into hummus, which you plant the trees. Hummus.
You plant trees in hummus?
Yeah, because it's an intensive tree farm. You have to have, enhanced dirt, so you can't just use regular dirt.
So you use hummus?
Yes.
Hummus is dirt.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
That kind of hummus.
Hamburger.
Many kinds of burger.
Yeah, many kinds of burger. Those are sort of 2 words as well, really. The other kinds of burger, like cheeseburger, that's really 2 words.
Kinda.
Hamburger's 1 word.
Yeah, that one is. But that's because, Hamburg. It's not because of that, though. Anyway. What else was I going to say about Minecraft? I forgot. I did stuff in Minecraft.
Bees.
Oh yeah, there's bees in the forestry mod with their ridiculous genetics, where you can breed stuff and it has dominant and recessive genes, and you can combine shit together. And also the bees are kind of you have all the boring bees, like the field bees and the forest bees, and they don't do anything interesting. But when you get to jungle bees, they have around the hives they have area of effect.
Right.
So it's when you walk up to a jungle hive, you suddenly get poisoned.
Oh.
But then you get even worse bees than that. Apparently you can get hell bees out of the nether. And when you walk up to the hell bees, you just set on fire. Which sounds kind of funny. I wonder if that affects enemies as well. Whether you could use them as a defensive measure, line your base with just beehives.
Well, why not? That will deter intruders.
Yeah, exactly. Set everything on fire.
Poison everything.
Yep. So yeah, I fucked around with that. I'm going to get to tree farms eventually.
Ribeye steak.
That's 3 words.
I'm not sure what ribeye even means.
Ribeye is technically 1 word.
What does ribeye mean? That's just a type of bone or something, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Because it looks like an eye.
Yeah.
And it's actually a rib.
Yeah. That's a bit of a bad literal name, that is.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be funny if they thought it was an actual eye.
Rabbit.
It's there's just an eye inside this bone.
Haribo.
Shut the fuck up.
Welsh werebit.
Werebit?
Rarebit.
Like a zombie.
Rarebit.
Have you not had that? It's like a posh cheese toast.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
What they call it? Croque monsieur in France.
With jambon.
With jambon?
It's got to be in it. It's French though, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
Du jambon.
And then there's Portal 2, I guess.
Bottle 2.
Bubble and Squeak.
Because I fucked
Captain
around.
Bear.
That's also French.
It is indeed.
The Infinite Testing Initiative.
Yeah, I fucked around with that level editor thing.
And?
And then
It looks so cool.
You might remember a long time ago. On
You were
the
so
podcast,
skeptical.
I was like, "There's never going to be one." But then again, on the other hand, that was goddamn like October or something. So even if they have succeeded in making a thing that looks like that, they haven't managed to escape Valve time in the process.
No, that's never gonna happen. But yeah, it does just look like a Flash game.
Well, it's not like it's fixed to isometric perspectives or anything. It's not like a four angles.
You were right about that.
It is pretty
But
good
it looks
stylistically.
great.
Yeah, and then you just drag and drop shit.
We I'm not sure about you, but I still have a few doubts maybe about its actual depth.
Well, obviously, it's not got any depth, really.
Well, they were saying you could make virtually any puzzle that was in the actual Portal 2.
You can't.
That's what the Valve people said.
You can for all the test chamber ones, I guess. Apart from the it doesn't have any of this sort of. Well, it doesn't have any of the. Will you shut the fuck up?
They're talking about whether baboon is a food.
I guess you could eat it, but then you probably get you get horrible diseases if you eat monkeys.
Yeah,
don't you?
well, I like AIDS.
It's it's like mad cow disease, isn't it? You get
It's
Garibaldi.
Win.
But yeah, Portal 2.
Yes.
You make all this shit, but it doesn't have. I don't think it has all the basic equipment and stuff like turrets and crates and lasers and all that shit. But I don't think it has enough options for aesthetic and
Yeah,
and
maybe
it
that'll
also,
add to it. Do you think
it doesn't have any aesthetic stuff, and it doesn't have any kind of precision. You can't really do half squares or anything. It's all full chunks.
Yeah, and those chunks are pretty big, as you said.
Yeah, and the squares are pretty huge in terms of size.
So if you haven't got much finesse or fine-grained control over stuff.
It's like the kind of puzzles you're going to make with that are all like logic mechanical.
Yeah.
You're not going to make any tricky. You're not going to be able to do subtle things or or very precise things. I mean, you can do precise things to some extent. Maybe using the launch plates or whatever.
Because you can land in precise areas, right?
Actually, the launch plates are actually really cool when you put them in the level. You drop the launch plate, and then you have another thing where you just drop the land zone.
Right.
So you can make them fire to exact points.
Cool.
Weirdly, you can have them not fire in a straight line as well. Okay. Which doesn't even seem to fit with how they're designed. They always look like you can have them fire at a weird angle for some reason.
Cool.
And you can make all kinds of, you can have the cube droppers, and you can have them automatically drop cubes, or not drop cubes, or only drop cubes when you hit a button, and all the different button options for turning things on and off, and rotating things, and lifting things.
So there's a lot you can do.
Well, yeah, there's a lot, but not enough. I still feel it's, kind of limited. I mean, it is obviously kind of limited, but it feels like they could have put more in, even in that limited framework.
Maybe they will. They do iterate on things quite a lot, Valve. They do patch things. And it's pretty finished, polished, it works.
Well, yeah, it does work.
It just needs a few more features, maybe. Make it a little bit...
Although maybe the best thing
half square.
Maybe the most important thing about it is if you go and play a shit ton of levels in it, you get new Cave Johnson speech at the start of every level.
Really?
There's 25 minutes of it, supposedly.
Awesome.
So you just have to go to the community page and go download. And then go and play them all just to hear that.
Hi, I'm Cave Johnson, and I fully recommend you try rhubarb.
Bourbon biscuits.
Bourbon isn't a word, that's a brand name.
It's not.
Rhubarb is
Bourbon is a word, but not in that context.
Bamboo?
Bourbon is... When it's a biscuit, it's a brand name. But when it's a
loads
booze...
of types of bourbons made by many
very
people.
different companies.
Yeah, but it's still a type of biscuit. It's like digestive.
It's a food.
It has a B in it. It's a food. Right.
Your turn.
I can't remember whether there was anything else. I was trying to figure... I'm sure I did something... I spent a lot of time...
We played Psycho Pinball.
That's true, we did play Psycho Pinball for a while.
That game is still awesome.
Yeah. Although still fucking hard, somehow.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And,
extra ball.
Well, maybe it's it has the classic problem of the death shot.
Yeah, it has a few death ramps.
Where you just, as soon as you see it happen, you're like, well, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We played that, and we played Battlefield, obviously, to some extent.
It's still bugged.
Yeah, before we decided that it wasn't worth... Well, I decided to. But then the trouble was that
we did still play it twice though, wasn't it? Because I had a really shit night.
Well,
and then afterwards it was like, actually, you know what? I can't believe I did that shit. And then we had a fairly good day.
Yeah, that's true. And also because Rick wanted to play it as well for his new machine.
I want to play it again.
Yeah, I think we should. Although it'd be nice if they fixed the fucking bug with the shotgun.
It's been there far too long, man.
Yeah. It's like, that was really dumb. Once I knew what that was and realised how bad it was and had some people doing it, I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait for the next patch. And then the next day I was like, but god damn it, I want to play Battlefield.
Yeah.
T-Fortress 2 isn't going to do it tonight, I need Battlefield.
You can't even stick to your guns. You can
Literally.
stick to your guns.
You can stick to your guns, but you can't stick to your guns.
Oh, the worst thing about the patch which introduced this bug where they rebalanced everything is they fucked up my hilarious unlock gun, because one of the assignments for support, the first one, gives you, like, it's another light machine gun or whatever, but by default it had a 12 times scope on it, which was hilarious, but they changed that in the patch and now it only has a 4. And I was like, oh, my hilarious super long range scope rifle.
Have they swapped it in the unlock tree or something?
No, I don't think it gets the 12 any longer. I think it only goes up to 6.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I was like, god damn it, that was awesome and hilarious. I was sniping people with it.
Okay, that's cool. Maybe, yeah, okay, now that you said that.
Yeah, but I still have to spray quite a few bullets to get lucky and hit them. It's like suppression at long range.
I guess.
And it still has scope clip because it's a 12 scope. So it makes me hella obvious.
People have been talking about suppression being a bit too expensive.
Well, they did change it in the patch as well, and it does seem it's more like binary now.
You know what,
it's either like you're not suppressed or you're fully suppressed.
Yeah, okay, that is still a problem, but I kind of prefer the slightly easier suppression. You know,
it's easier to make it happen, but but it fucks you up so much.
I know, but it feels more like a legitimate tactic than it feels like more like it was like what it was intended to be, I think, now.
But I've had it happen so many times where it's like I start shooting at someone and then they turn around and shoot me and it's like I shot first, so you should definitely be suppressed. It wasn't like a lag thing.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I get that all the time.
Well, yeah,
like, no matter what.
But I mean, obviously some of that is because of spray, but it's just like I definitely shot first, so how you just basically got hella lucky there, because you must have been hella suppressed, and that makes your aim waver so much.
Do you actually get suppressed by a hit, though?
No, you can, well...
If you get shot, does that count as suppression?
But I'm fairly sure I wasn't hitting them in these specific cases, where it's like, oh, I've aimed really badly, but those bullets must have been close enough to suppress you, surely. So yeah, shooting around. Battlefield.
Like
fucking up my unlocks. Grr. And I maybe played some T-Fortress 2 at some point.
Mm-hmm.
As you do.
As you do.
I've got a bunch of weapons to give to Rick.
Yay! If you've got a Liberty launcher, I want one of those.
I don't think I have a spare at the moment.
No, I don't have a spare.
Damn it.
It took me quite a long time to get even one. In fact, I've only just got the quick fix.
Oh, I've got that.
It took me forever to get that fucking thing.
Bubblegum.
And I also cleaned out my inventory at some point as well, because it was full of crates.
Yeah,
fucking great. And
that's mine.
So I went and looked at the stupid spreadsheet of like pricing in TF2. And it was like, how much is this shit actually worth? Because all the people who make trades in TF2 have basically been bitching about this, where it's like, oh, you can't rip people off or try and negotiate a price because everyone just goes and looks at this spreadsheet and says that's how much it's worth because it's on this spreadsheet.
Okay.
It's a visual from this random spreadsheet. So when I looked at that, it was like, are any of these crates worth anything? It's like, ooh, some of them actually are.
Oh, interesting.
Worth more than one refined metal, so they're worth keeping.
Excellent. So did you just chuck everything?
Yeah, I got rid of all the shitty ones that were worth like a quarter of a weapon.
Okay.
Get rid of all them. Keep the ones that are actually worth something.
Cool.
Like, and that price sheet is hilarious just for like the ludicrously expense some of the items get to. Where it's like, this item is worth 8 keys. Which is basically equivalent to like 20 quid.
Whoa,
16, isn't it? Just, I thought it was £2 a key.
Oh, well, whatever, maths. Some number of keys. There's like that, when it says it's worth this number of keys, that might as well just have an actual real price tag on it, because that's what it is.
Right, yeah. Because keys are worth money.
Yeah, keys, the only way you can get keys is by buying them with real cash.
So, how do you know your crate's worth something then?
You go look on this list.
But,
How do they know?
but doesn't it just say it's a crate? How do you identify
No, well,
it?
They have a number.
There's a certain amount.
do they?
They have a number, and there's a certain amount of stuff that can appear in each number.
And it's listed on the tool
I
tab
see.
and tells you what's in it.
So they have a value, presumably worked out by the probability of what value item you can get out
So
of
you
it.
need to know. Do you need to know when you got it, or?
No, they just have the number.
The crates are all numbered.
Oh, okay.
So in your
Oh,
inventory,
I
it should
see,
say
yeah.
crate number 2. Or
So you look them up, and then it's like, so it's like, this is rated as some number of keys, but then the other thing they do is the earbuds from the Mac version, they're worth like 20-something keys. And then the most expensive thing, once they go past that, once it gets to like the Max's 7 head from the Sound Max thing, that's worth like 2.5 earbuds. So that's worth like 60 keys or something. And like, Jesus Christ. Expense.
rarity.
So save all your shit and then trade it to people for keys and then unlock crates. I guess.
I suppose you'd do it on a trade server, would you? Or?
Yeah, probably.
Would you use them to unlock crates that you knew were valuable, or would you use them to unlock cheaper crates
That's the question.
and sell
really,
the ones
isn't it?
that you knew were valuable for more keys?
Or do you actually really care?
So it's kind of a pointless trade then.
Yeah, you can't get the money back out.
Yeah.
You might as well go to E and sell the shit on eBay if helpful you're not allowed. Apart from everyone does. Or people do. But if I was going to get anything out of crates, I'd want at least one or two of the strange stuff. I'd like to have at least, you know, my main weapon be a strange at some point.
I know what you mean.
Track kills.
Or get an unusual hat.
Indeed.
I don't think I'd want an unusual hat.
I think the people who bought the game should have got some keys.
They got a free hat.
Oh, wow.
Did we?
The proof of purchase.
Oh, yeah.
That shitty green hat. It's not a good hat.
I don't remember getting that because I bought it.
You got the Primeval Warrior badge and shit.
You might have bought it after.
No, I didn't have that. I've only got gold.
There might have been a point where you were too late to get that, but before it went free to play. You might have been in that little gap.
Maybe.
Sucks to be you. But you get free stuff off me, so I guess
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. It works out, doesn't it?
So that's tier 2.
Although the trouble is, I keep getting
Yes.
all the drops that I keep getting are shit that is not actually useful for you. I think I've got like 3 different goddamn Demo Man swords. It's like, that's not really helpful. I don't think Rick needs to play Demo Night, really.
I haven't even tried Demo Man yet.
Well, I don't know. Is that Rick might find Demo Night kind of entertaining. You swap your grenade launcher and go all melee, basically.
Okay.
It's you use the charging turd, so you boost at people, and then use
I
the
see.
swords to do massive damage while you're
That sounds quite
charging.
fun.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is kind of fun though, but you just have to accept you're going to die a lot.
Well, I do that anyway, so...
So, yeah.
But you don't have any of the good weapons. Or maybe you don't have any of the good weapons that you'd be good with.
No.
And you'd keep trying to play Sniper and Scout, even though we told you not to.
Well, at least with Sniper I can sort of hang back and just sort of
That's
have
true.
a go at people. At least then I don't die as much.
If you want to, like, on certain levels where you can snipe out of spawn, so it's like you don't even have to worry about spies then. Just like get some sniping practice in.
Yeah, exactly.
Although then everyone like zeroes in their sights on you as well.
Yeah, because they know exactly where you're going to be.
Yeah. It's a trade-off.
Zero-sum game. Sniping between balconies on 2-4. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So, that's tier 2. Is that you? I guess.
I feel like there was something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, we're running out of time. I think,
Yeah.
for
About
Rob
half an hour
stuff.
left.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say anything last week, so I guess that makes up for it.
Okay,
last
sure.
time.
I better quickly do me. I play a bit of Bastion. It's pretty good. You guys played that before?
No.
A bit? I think I played the demo on XBLAR. And so I've got it on PC because I got it in the sale at Christmas, I think. So I started playing it. It's very slick. Naturally I picked up my controller and synced it and then I looked at the options like, oh wait, well, let's try this with like mouse and keyboard. And I think I prefer it quite a lot more compared to the because obviously the demo was on XBLAR. I was using the controller. I think I prefer the mouse because like for the you have a kind of melee weapon and range weapon at all times, like left click, right click, or left trigger, right trigger, I guess. But in the with the pad, in order to lock onto an enemy, you have to kind of defend, I think, to lock. I think that's right. In order to, and you sort of point towards the one, and
it's like Zentai thing.
Yeah, like Zentai.
Once you go to Zentai, you get the shield out.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that was the way you aimed with the bow or whatever at distance enemies. Whereas with the mouse, obviously, you can just point where, so you can change. You can be drawing the bow back, and then at any point you can change where you're firing, which is kind of cool. So it makes that quite a bit nicer. And although you still have to be careful with because you've only got WSAD 8 directions, so you have to watch falling off the level, of course, because that's quite easily done in Bastion.
With an isometric view, it makes it a bit trickier.
Doesn't penalise you too badly, but especially if you use the combat roll dodge, then it's quite easy to like abuse it and then just roll off the level quite a lot. But that game is really slick, and it's got the narrator and the story and all that art. It's all really, really nice, and the music's really good and all that stuff. It's just that the actual game is the combat, and it's not. It's good. It's just a bit weird because it's that isometric perspective, and it's quite hard in places. Like there's a bit I got to, which wasn't one of the main levels, but it was just like a jar that was on the Bastion, and I like took a puff took a drag on this bong, and then it puts you in a waves of enemies kind of horde mode type thing. Okay. And it gets really hard in places.
Bong training.
Yeah, basically bong training. Well, it's like your memories or something. It's like the story of the kid or something, which is told by the narrator as you go through waves and waves of enemies in this area. And not only that, but the enemies smash holes in the floor, which you then have to avoid for the rest of the entire thing. So,
Kobe beef.
That's definitely a brand name.
No, it's not. It's that type of beef where they're like really well looked after cows.
Yeah, but that's become a brand name because it's that specific.
Are they from Kobe?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a brand. I just thought it was a...
Well,
it's
like because no other
beef.
Well, yeah, basically it is.
No, it's not.
Just because it comes from one specific place.
Beef.
No, it's just how it's done, isn't it? It's the process.
Yeah, but it originated. It's just like any food can be made anywhere.
Angus beef has to be a special breed, doesn't it? It has to be with Aberdeen Angus. Aberdeen Angus.
Yeah, but it's a breed, not a brand.
Yeah, I agree.
A breed is a brand, basically.
No! Chicken is a chicken. It's like if you
that's not a breed of chicken, is it? It's like a very specific.
If I ate cock or hen, it would still be chicken.
I hope you're not eating cock.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not a breed of chicken either. That's a gender.
Cabbage.
There, cabbage. Rick wins with cabbage.
Okay, that's got 2 V's. Rick does win.
Rick wins. That's a bog standard food that is definitely not a brand.
Bubble is not a food.
2 V's in the middle.
Is the name of a food that had 2 V's in it.
No, that's a slang name for a food.
You can't argue against
cabbage. It's the name of a food.
Cabbage.
Cabbage is pretty good.
Cabbage wins. Right. Okay. I'll talk more about Bastion when I've actually finished it. So, Rob,
I do want to get.
You think you're going to finish it?
Yeah, and then I'm going to do. Oh, that's why I was going to start on The Witcher 2, and it was taking it forever to download this enhanced edition patch, and then I realised that it re-downloaded the entire freaking game, so no longer it took.
Why did you have it downloaded before? Because when did that patch come out?
Well, I was going to play it. I downloaded it when I got it, like Christmas.
Oh, so yeah, you had...
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know, because it would have been patched then, wouldn't it? Because that patch didn't come out that
it only just got patched.
It was only just, a couple of weeks ago or something.
But they did do another big patch, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but this
to make it actually work.
But this was like the enhanced edition, but it re-downloaded the entire game. And it changed the name in the Steam thing to The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition. Interestingly. So that's kind of cool.
It's neat that
didn't have to pay any extra.
Yeah. It's neat that everyone gets the extras.
So I'll get onto that once I thought Bastion would be short. No, it's not. It's, shorter than a full game, but it's not like a short game, as it were. So we'll see.
Alright.
So, Rob, you've entered the new world of the future of gaming.
I've got like 20 minutes, man. I need more than 20 minutes.
I'll carry on talking, man. Extend the file. I don't care.
That's alright. Alright, I'll skip most of what else I'm because the little things I suppose I should mention are like Assassin's Creed, still playing it. Still,
not much to talk about there, thank God.
Still the same old shit. Full synchronization fucking sucks. Like, I think I agree with you.
You did say that last time.
Yeah, I know, but there was one.
I'm
still. The annoying thing is because it's there. I'm still trying to do it, and it's like I don't like go back and retry it just to do it. But it's like I still try and do it, like for the mission. And I did this one where I managed to get entire. It was like sequence 5 is shit in Assassin's Creed, bro. The banker thing. It's just filled with the worst parts of the game. Really. There's one where you have to follow a guy, and the full sync is don't touch the ground. And I got all the way to the end of the tail section, and then had to make this slightly awkward jump onto a pole sticking. I was like, oh shit, I've gone the wrong way here. So I made the little jump onto the pole and thought, yes, I've done it. He then jumps again and lands right in front of the guards. It's like, fuck! It's like, I ruined my full sync and got into a fight. It's like, because the controls suck for that kind of stuff. It just sort of seems to just jump on its own every now and then, or just get over carried away. And it's like, I've released the buttons. Why have you jumped again? Frustrating. So that's that. Oh, and the bank also had that scene where there's like a sex party or something going on, where it's like there's like a party with lots of mostly naked people standing around. Don't know if you remember this, Dan, or something. And you have to tail this guy through the party.
I remember.
And then just as you get close, it's like kill the dude. And just as you get close, the memory sort of glitches him away, so you can't kill him yet. And it's like, oh goddamn, I was in assassination range, and then he disappears, and you miss some speech or something when that happens because he's glitching further along the path. And I just found that bit really, really frustrating because you're supposed to make your way through the crowd using the crowds as cover, but sometimes the guards are like literally right in front of you. So if you lose your crowd, which is kind of dodgy at the best of times, for a split second, they just go instant detection, game over, do it again. You fluffed your lines, and that was shockingly shit. And then when you finally get to the sort of little square party area at the end, and you have to, that was the way I did it. I'd sort of hang around the edge and then sort of kill off a few of the guys. Yeah. I eventually poisoned a dude like the game suggested, but it was a question of finding the right dude to draw enough of the crowd for it to actually make any sense. And then just sort of snuck past onto a bench, and then it was okay at that point. But even I did that, I still had to do that technique twice, because the first time I did it, I think the detection rules are kind of rubbish. Is I got up and as I went to assassinate the guy I was meant to assassinate, the guard standing right next to him went into detection. I still stabbed the guy, but I got detected, so I failed.
Oh no!
And it's like, and I think that sucks. It's like if you manage to actually get the guy, like the detection seems too harsh. It's like you can be on a rooftop and it's like you'll stab a guy immediately in the back or something that said, but he had a split second to turn around and was detected. It's like, no, detected to me is if they had enough time to say something to raise the alarm, maybe. You know, it's like if it doesn't matter whether or not they spotted you for the split second. If you stab them immediately, it's like that's still stealth. It's like it's a bit too harsh for that mechanic, and it causes some really frustrating moments. But that's I'm still playing it. The story's still good. That's the only reason I'm playing it, I think, is because I kind of like the story and the setting more than I actually like the game.
So hurry up and get through it. Don't bother with any side stuff, for Christ's sake.
I'm not really. It's like, I'm doing some of the Brohood stuff. I am doing the Romulus stuff, but I'm sort of just I'm doing side stuff as I come across it. I'm not going out of my way to find it.
This was a great arc of your, like, I'm not, oh wait, now I am!
Yeah, no, I sort of am. If it's kind of on the way, because there's a lot of stuff in that game that's actually beneficial for you to do. There's a lot of stuff that isn't, as well, like the flag collecting and like going out of your way to do the shop quests and things like that. If it just happens to be on my route, then I'll do it. But I tend not to go out of my way to do stuff. The Borgia Towers, I think, are kind of essential. You kind of have to do those, really. Because it's just annoying having them there.
Yeah, definitely do those.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long either.
So anyway, that's that. Been playing more Missplosion Man, because it's really quite hard. I'm not even 2/3 of the way through that. And it's, admittedly, I'm only playing it in tiny, tiny bursts. Like, I think I got an hour done in the last 3 weeks or something. It's really hard. Really hard. But, they do the sort of, like, annoying thing that they get it right in the sort of Meat Boy sense that there's pretty much instant retries. You know, you're not really hanging about. It's not quite as quick as Meat Boy, but it's not long, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. But then they seem to make the mistake where that just sort of is frustrating about a lot of games like this, where the requirement is to do a rather large section fairly perfectly. And just as you eke that little bit further along, the screen scrolls to the right. Oh, and there's something you weren't expecting happening. So you have to do the whole section again and memorise that last little bit. And then you do that bit. And then there's another bit you weren't expecting and couldn't deal with quickly enough and it's just a sort of like a trial and error stage with a lengthy prologue.
Oh, that was something else. I remembered something I was going to mention. I did play a little bit of Meat Boy again, mainly for like messing around with other characters and
all that.
Doing some more A+ on Dark World just because I could. I got to the end of Salt Factory in all A+. So I was like, and then at that point I was like, fuck it, because then it becomes too random, as we discussed, with like hell and everything.
Yeah, there's too many dynamic sort of factors.
But I was really fed up with like I didn't know where the Salt Factory and the Hell character portal were to get to the character warp zones. And I was like, I kind of want to unlock these characters at some point. Not the bandage ones, obviously, because those are ridiculous. So I scoured, because it has to be in Light World, obviously, the character portal. So I scoured Salt Factory, like, over and over. It's like, where the fuck is this goddamn portal? And then I just gave up and looked at the fact, and it was like, not to see where it was, but to see what level it was in. Yeah. And I was like, I've been through that level so many times, and it turns out that where it is you just have to stand still at the start, and it comes out of the ground. I was like, well, fuck that then, because if that can happen, then, I mean, you can't find them.
No, because they just randomly appear.
So I decided that, and it's like, maybe bandages do that. So clearly trying to work that shit out. Once you've got as much as you can easily see, there could be shit hiding in walls. So I did that. Meat Boy's still awesome.
They're coming through the walls.
Yeah.
They're making a mobile version of Meat Boy. Well, obviously it'd be a completely different game. But,
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Is that just going to be another run to the right one button thing?
Well, they're working really hard on the problem, basically, apparently. They've even changed kind of the art style to be a bit more kind of pixel, well, a bit more...
a bit more pixely
than it
already was.
Not all cutie style, but I don't know, but it looks kind of cool in a kind of Meat Boy-y way, yeah.
More Meat Boy.
So...
Didn't they say officially that they weren't going to make a sequel? Does this not count as a sequel?
Apparently it doesn't count.
I suppose not, because it's a different platform, but...
What is it?
It is it's not for the iPad, it's for phones like iPhone or Android and stuff.
Right.
Well, I don't think it's for tablets, necessarily.
Speaking of which...
I
have an iPad.
Sorry, what? You have a what?
An iPad. An iPad. Do you need to save it some more? It's frickin' sweet. It's like, I love it so much.
So pointless, though.
So, kinda. I find it hard to argue with that, but it is kind of pointless. But it's awesome.
You should have bought a laptop. I mean, seriously.
I don't need a laptop.
Yeah, but you don't need an iPad.
No, exactly. But this is...
But a laptop is more useful.
If I want something I don't need, then I want something that's different from something I already have. Like, a laptop is just an extension of my desktop. Yeah. It's like, I wanted something different. I wanted to open up new horizons. I wanted to...
You want some new shitty games that you can play everywhere for no reason.
Seriously, this is quality. Like, but when I'm on lunch break at work or something, there's a nice disconnect between doing something on my PC screen at lunch and like doing something on this instead. It's a detachment thing.
Rather than installing Steam or whatever like you did before.
Yeah, I did do that. I'm not sure if I should push that boundary yet 1 month into my current employment. But
no, probably not.
We'll see. Well, in fairness, you did accidentally just run Steam through my work's VPN, so I might have to explain that.
Well, there's not much to explain there. It's just like it's your computer, so obviously it can have. It didn't accidentally run porn or something. Like, what are you doing in your off hours?
That would be pretty bad. Anyway, yeah. So I've been playing iPad games quite a bit.
Indeed,
including my new addiction, Tiny Tower. I really don't.
It's a waste of time.
Exactly. I really don't fucking
play an actual game.
Why I'm playing this? It's just one of those sort of like stupid little, because basically it's a bit like a Tamagotchi in its own sort of way. You can't help but like things happen in real time. Like you have to build your build your tower and like make sure people are in a job that they're happy with, and then they pay you rent over real time, and you have to stock your stores over real time and things like that. So
that's the main problem with it, though.
It keeps pinging up saying, with things saying, your stores aren't stocked. You need to sort this out.
That's the problem.
And then you can't help yourself. It's compulsive. You just go in and go, I need to sort this shit out.
Yeah, but that's why it sucks. It's because it's too real time. If it's just a game, if it's like Sim Tower where you can run it at super fast speed, then fine, that'd be a game.
It's appealing to like I can see why it's like that, because there is a certain thing about real time elements to sort of like these little casual mobile games. It's kind of a big thing, and it does have. And it's hurry up things. You could, the tower bucks currency can be bought with microtransactions.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously there's that.
Because it's a free game. That's that's their in.
But it's like the problem with it's like the idea of sort of with like Farmville or whatever is like we're going to have this thing where you maybe only have to play it every now and then for a day, so you're not wasting all your time playing a game. But in actual fact, you still are. You're just wasting your time in little mini chunks all over the place.
True. It's true. You do spend it in like little micro chunks, just going, I wonder how this is getting on.
It's sort of worse because it's like you're interrupting whatever else you were doing to do that, rather than just like a committed game session where you're like spending an hour playing a game and then you stop and go and do other stuff.
To a point. It could be dangerous if you got too into it, I think. It was interrupting important shit.
Yeah, like work. Like everyone on Facebook.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad.
Not yet.
No. Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how bad the compulsion gets. It's okay. I don't know. It's strangely cool.
You need to get some Bejeweled on there, except you can't.
Except I can't. No, this is the corrections column, I think. I got that totally
not
fucking
New Game
wrong.
Plus at all.
No. Bejeweled Blitzes. What I got completely cocking wrong is that there's nothing but the first Bejeweled on iOS rather than Bejeweled Blitz. You can't get Bejeweled 2, you can't even get Bejeweled 3.
Right.
And even the versions of Bejeweled that are out there that aren't the Chrome version don't have the same version of speed mode that I freaking love anyway.
So you're stuck with Chrome?
I'm stuck with Chrome or Blitz, basically. They're my choices. And even the Blitz version on iPad isn't actually that great either. It is iPad made, but it isn't Retina, and it plays identically. It does that weird thing that some iPad things do, where they are the iPhone game still. They're the iPhone 4 game, but they just sort of put a banner around it.
Yeah.
On the
screen. Like some Super Game Boy shit or something.
Yeah, kind of. It's like Tiny Tower does it as well, in fairness. You get that sort of border around it.
Well, that hardly...
In this, it's hardly noticeable.
Yeah.
In Tiny Tower, it's hardly noticeable, but in Bejeweled Blitz, it's just a little bit more obvious, because, I don't know.
Well, that's not that much for you.
No, but it's still small, but it's just a big black thing, you know what I mean? At least they sort of bothered to put like a sort of border in that kind of blended with it in Tiny Tower. But yeah, so I'm a bit annoyed about that. Maybe I'll have to get my like match 3 fix in some sort of puzzle quest game or something.
Well, maybe you could just not play that.
Yeah, maybe I could just not play match 3s. Yeah, get that out of my system. But there are 2 games at the moment that I do seem to that are like proper games, I suppose, that I keep.
Or are they?
I do keep going. Well, Jetpack Joyride.
I'm not sure if that counts as a proper game, really.
It's an auto runner. It's no different.
It's a one-button game. I'm not sure if those really count.
It's cool though. It's still a game.
It is pretty cool,
and it's free.
Well, yeah, but that's not necessarily a problem either at this point for games, for real games.
Well, no, I suppose the whole free-to-play thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, just look at Blacklight, Retribution.
Download it, do it now.
Dan will remember it eventually.
It's not the best name.
I keep thinking, because I always remember it.
Black Rebel Motorcycle.
I always remember, like, isn't it Blacklight Prophecy?
Blacklight.
That was the one before it.
Yeah. That's why I always get confused, because it's like, this game came out ages ago.
It is the same series, yeah, just with a different subtitle. But Jetpack Joyride, yeah, auto runner made by the Fruit Ninja guys. That's really cool. It has awesome music and is strangely addictive. I did play it for a good few hours when I first got my iPad. It's just like, this shit's awesome. And it has, stupid vehicles that you pick up and they have cool sort of intros, they sort of go, and the vehicle sort of builds it up on screen, and it's like having an extra life, but they all handle differently. I don't know, it's really cool. It's sort of like, it's one of those just one more go type games. You sort of play it for a bit. The games don't last very long, but then when you do kind of shitty, it's like, I can do better than that. It's a bit like Bejeweled.
Yeah.
You just go back and have another go. And another, I'm seriously short on time here, but I don't know what I've got 7 minutes. That's alright. It has like a leveling system as well, so it's basically the only reason I keep playing it is you earn coins as you play that you can spend on frivolous stuff like extra suits or like change your jetpack. A bit like how Fruit Ninja did it as well, like you can change your slash colours or something so they look like musical keyboards rather than like samurai swords or lightsabers.
Or rainbows.
Or rainbows, yeah. Or by backgrounds, which was even more pointless. So it has one of those systems, which then makes you wonder, why isn't Fruit Ninja free? You know, the way Jetpack Joyride, I think, is supposedly to make money is that those money costs are quite high, so you have to play it quite a lot to actually be able to buy anything from the store. And there's a microtransaction system to just get coins.
Yep.
Naturally. Yeah, it's pretty good. I do like the sort of like little challenges you get sometimes, because some of them are retarded, like just purposefully kill yourself within the 300 and 400 meter mark, as it was one of them. Like make sure you land in that zone. There you go, you'll level up a bit. And of course leveling gives you coins.
Yep.
It all ties in. Yeah, it's really cool, really slick product. For free, you must try. I think there is an iPhone version as well.
Is there an Android version?
Possibly. I don't know, can you get Fruit Ninja on Android?
No. Oh, you can now, I think. You didn't used to be able to.
Oh, right, they've just ported it, have they?
I think it was a while ago, but you didn't used to be able to.
Kippers going to check that out.
What's it called?
Jetpack Joyride. That time again, Jetpack Joyride. And what was that other game called?
Blacklight.
Retribution.
I was testing Dan there, but you know, you can't
I think Dan was about to say Jetpack Joyride, which was a funnier answer.
I was.
What was that other game? Oh, it's Jetpack Joyride. Oh, my tiny tower is ready to be restocked.
So good. What was the other game you're apparently always playing? You said those two.
There is. The other one is Pinball Arcade.
Oh right, yeah, I remember.
Which is quite.
I was like, what the hell?
It's really good on iPad. Actually, it suffers.
Graphically.
It suffers a tiny bit, but only a little bit graphically, really. The texture detail isn't actually much lower than it is on the consoles. Not really noticeably so. It has Retina support, so it's running at proper iPad 3 resolution, which is nice. The only thing it really sort of... There's a few polygonal differences, especially on the Medieval Madness table, which is currently free to play, so you have no excuse. It's... There's a few polygonal differences on some of the curved ramps, which weirdly aren't so much of a problem on the other tables. There's just this one that's free at the moment. They seem to have fucked up some of the polygons on the ramps. So it's like whatever they used to simplify it for iPad, which is probably an automatic process or something, was a bit heavy-handed on a couple of the ramps. But it looks pretty good. There's a few lighting things that are different on iPad as well, like some of the textures look a bit, some of the actual objects on the table look a bit flat. They don't seem to have like a lighting model applied to them at all, which is a bit of a shame. But they still play brilliantly, which is all you really need from a pinball game. It's like, the graphics are technically secondary to the actual gameplay. And if there's one thing I never really liked about Pinball FX, it's like, there's something a bit off.
It's just a game.
They're just a pinball game, you know. But yeah, you're right. They're a game rather than having that real pinball feel.
Actual physics.
Admittedly, Psycho Pinball, I guess, is kind of like that.
Well,
it is just a
really
game. It's ancient, but there's something catchy about its feel, and that's the thing with pinball. To make it successful, it's got to have a catchy feel.
Yeah.
It's got to have something
like that means.
I don't know. It's got to have a great. There's a certain. It's like anything, like a racing game. You can have a shit racing game because it feels weird.
Like Dirt Free.
Dirt Free doesn't feel weird. It's just on its presentation.
Compared to Dirt 2, it does.
Yeah, and Pinball Arcade nails it. And it's pretty much identical to the Xbox version. There are some oddities on iPad that I'm not sure I might just drop some money onto it to see if it fixes them. Because there are some weird stuff, like the iPad version wants you to do leaderboards through Facebook, which can be a mild irritation. And also, it seems to be
how else would it do leaderboards?
Well, there is Game Center; it could do it through that, but they've chosen not to.
Right.
But there's or OpenFaint even, or the other sort of other competing things that are on iOS. I think even Sega are trying to do one soon or something. You can get Sega IDs now. But there's I forgot my point now. But yeah, it basically constantly asks, it has little dialogues that come up saying connecting, and would you like to transfer purchases to this device, and please enter your Apple ID, presumably so it can find out those purchases and stuff. And there seems to be an awful lot of those dialogues popping up. So maybe if I actually have some purchases, it feels like it doesn't have to ask me anymore. Or something like that, maybe. But it's a bit annoying. There's quite
it's only a menu. It's not like they happen in the middle of the game.
Well, they happen in between games. Like sometimes when you say start the next game, it says connecting. Oh, and it also misses the other thing. It's like, I don't know, I if I get really into a pinball game, you kind of know when it's about to... If you start hunting the high scores, you kind of know after the first ball, maybe you're on a bad run.
Right.
Or something like that. So I get into the habit of like Worms Pinball and things of just going, pause. 1 minute. Oh, 1 minute. Oh, shit. Pause, reset, start again. Yeah. Which is normally fairly instant. You can't do it on this. You have to play the whole game or quit the table and then go back into it and then put up with a few more prompts of connecting to then restart your game, making it worthless to do so. But I suppose that's part of the simulation.
I guess.
To like not let you do that. But it's cool.
It's not on Android.
It's not on Android. Oh.
So
30 seconds, wrap it up.
More iPad
I love it, buy one.
Yeah, more iPad thoughts coming up in future Saladcasts.
Stephen Fry was right.
20 more games. So that'll be the end of this Saladcast.
His top gadget. His top gadget was a lighter. so screw Stephen Fry.
So sod games, buy lighters. That's basically
It's on fire.
That's a game in itself. So we're about to go out and try that. So
say bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorbet.
Hobnob.
Gumbo. Bamberg. Raspberry.
Hamburger.
Ribeye steak.
Rabbit.
Haribo.
Shut the fuck up.
Welsh Rarebit.
Bubble and squeak.
Camembert.
Garibaldi.
Rhubarb. Bourbon biscuits.
Bamboo.
Bubblegum.
Kobe beef.
Cabbage.